The Giants are number one. Once Indiana Jones, now on the shelf. And are the Chiefs toast or what? All of this and more coming up. It's the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital Live, starting right now.
Let's go! It's time for the talk to you. Cause when closes for, it's always coming through. And all green is always on the sea. And what you're always bring to life, singing. So get ready, ready. Get ready, cause here they come.
Oh, man, what a fun Monday to be talking. The house is all decorated now, Boy Green. I decked the holly, or decked the bells of holly. Follow, played some Christmas tunes. House is now decorated. Took me long enough to find out loud. Welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Monday. It's our Monday morning quarterbacking show, and you heard through the headlines. Oh, man, we've got some great stuff to talk about today. Why not start with my Giants? Boy Green, before I do that, good morning. How are you, sir? Happy holidays. No microphone. Boy Green's speaking to no one.
There pressing about your buttons back here behind the scenes. No, I am happy for you, Lurch. That's the most important thing that you are.
Number one.
One more time.
Number one.
There you go. Number one.
That's ways to be number one, right? And we are number one. What we're referring to, of course, folks, is because the Tennessee Titans won yesterday and the Giants have the week off. The Giants have moved into the number one spot for the NFL draft in April. So if we don't screw it up, which we do every year, by the way, we'll actually have the number one overall pick. I don't know what that really means to the Giants at this point, but it's always better to be number one than to be 2, 3, 4, or something else. Plus, if nothing else, if you don't make the pick, it's a very tradable commodity, obviously. There's always desperate people out there come draft time. Go ahead, BG. I'm sorry.
100% no, and that's what I was going to say. If you're a Giants fan, that's got to be what you're rooting for. Here it is officially. The Giants have the number one pick. There are 3 2-win football teams. It's the Giants, the Raiders, and the Titans, and that is the strength of schedule. The Giants have a significant strength of schedule advantage, 534 to 548 to 573 over those teams. But here's the good news. A lot of these teams play each other. Giants have a matchup against the Raiders. The Titans and Saints play. The Jets and Saints play. The Giants and Commanders play. So there's a lot of intermingling that's going to happen here.
Oh, no, not the Commanders, Boy Green. Not the Commanders. That's our nemesis.
That's
the team we always beat in meaningless games at the end of the year. Oh, we've got another one with the Commanders. No!
Although, to be honest, I'm rooting for the Commanders this week because the Giants play the Raiders, and I think you're going to beat the Raiders. So I'd rather the Commanders. Like the Commanders, their final 4 games, and I was breaking it down earlier on my morning Jet show, because why not? The Jets are eliminated from the playoffs again, so might as well start talking take. The Commanders play the Eagles twice and the Cowboys, and then they have your Giants matchup. The Giants matchup is the only one they have any shot of winning, so I am a massive hail to the Commanders fan this weekend for sure, because I think the Giants Giants still play the Raiders. They got the Vikings in there. They got the Commanders. Like, they have a couple of games they could win.
Yeah, the Giants are not going to have I don't think the Giants can end up with the number one overall pick. I think that they're going to win one, if not more than one of those games. And to be honest with you, this might be the year, Boy Green, especially since it seems that we have the quarterback situation solved, that I really am not going to, be, as we're getting into the home stretch here, lose. I think I can just honestly just root for my team to go out there and try to win every week and put out a good effort, and let's develop these young players and so on and so forth. So this is not one of those years for me. I've had a few, as you know, when we were searching for this quarterback. But this is not going to be one of those years where I'm rooting for the tank. I won't do it.
Well, that's terrible, Lurch, because I thought we could work together. Because here's the thing. You see my Jets are all the way down there at 7. They actually still have a chance to get the number one pick, believe it or not. They have a very minuscule chance to get the number one pick. But, Lurch, I'm going to be honest. I want to confess to you that I fell in love over the weekend. I did, and I am engaged. So I am. I've
hopefully not someone else. What did you fall in love with?
There is someone else, Lurch, and I have to tell you, it happened over the weekend. So here's what I want. I want the Giants
to someone else.
Well, I will show you. I want the Giants to land the number one overall pick, so you can trade it to the Jets.
Oh,
so we can get this man.
Yes, Indiana.
Lurch, help me find love. By the way, shout out to Nicholas from the Same Old Jets podcast who produced
Very
that
nice.
for us.
Is that
Terrific.
ABBA? Who did Fernando?
That
Is that
is
ABBA?
ABBA.
It is ABBA.
Absolutely, that's ABBA.
Yeah.
So come
Okay.
on, Fernando, you can help deliver him to the Jets. You guys have Jackson Dart. You don't need the number 1 pick, and then we can make a deal. We can strike a trade.
I'd be fine with that. The problem is the Jets and the Giants never trade with each other. It's very rare. I don't know. That's
only a handful of times. Leonard Williams trade happened a couple of years ago, but there's been very few deals. So let's make another one. That means we're due. Come on. You beat Ohio State over the weekend in that Big Ten championship game. It was terrific.
Listen, I'd be perfectly fine with your team getting your guy. I mean, you've watched me fumble around for years. When are we going to get our guy? And, you deserve to get your guy. And boy, wouldn't it be a wonderful world where we had all 3 New York teams humming, the Bills, the Jets, and the Giants all realistically, fighting for realistic and meaningful things at the end of a football season. But instead, you and I find ourselves, scraping the bottom of the barrel, figuring out, all right, what about this? What about this? What can we do here? Oh, new coach again. Oh, let's fire the GM. Oh gosh, it's this vicious cycle that bad teams get into and that losing creates. And that is constant change, typically lack of a franchise quarterback. And then just organizational breakdowns, whether it's, bad draft picks, guys going off the reservation, just crazy stuff happening. So enough of the crazy. Let's have a little steadiness, dare I say. That's why I always preach, I am a preacher of steadiness. And even, like sometimes I'm a stubborn, like, all right. I know you want to fire the coach. Let's not fire the coach right now. Because you just keep firing people and the cycle just keeps on happening. Oh, so we're going to waste another 3 years or 4 years with another guy who stinks? Like, let's just try to figure out what the problems are here before we fire everybody, all right? Because sometimes it's not just one person that's creating all the problems. A football team is made up of a lot of people, okay? You got the players, you got the coaches, you got the front office, you got the ownership. I mean, that's a lot of people. And one little link in that chain, right? And you think it's this link and it's really this link. Well, look out. You got problems. So patience. You got to make sure that if you're firing people, make sure you're firing the right guy, okay? Or the right guys or whatever it is, or the right people, right?
Right. Well, so again, long story short, if the Jets can't get the number 1 pick, I prefer they get it themselves and no trades required. But if they can't get it, I want a team that already has a quarterback to get it. And that sort of got crushed a little bit with the Titans winning. So that opened up the Jets' chance to get the number 1 pick, but also opened the door for others, right? Raiders, Browns, although maybe the Browns got it with Shadur Sanders, for Pete's sake. He looked terrific again over the weekend. So more stuff there. So plenty of topics to get into, Lurch, for sure.
Yeah, it's just what the Browns need to do is get another quarterback in camp. Let's have 3 now and really be juggling the balls in the air. I mean, there it is. The perfect example.
Reported that.
They are the perfect example of a franchise that is the model not to follow. Don't follow that model.
Absolutely. Yes.
On all levels, don't follow that model. Yeah. And a lot of people think they actually have a really good coach in Kevin Stefanski, but he's
been a 2-time coach of the year.
So ruined by everything that's around him. Right from ownership right on down. They just have a lot of bad decision makers, in that franchise. And it almost doesn't matter. Stefanski could be the greatest coach in the world. It just doesn't matter. Because there are a lot of rumors that if Stefanski got fired, like another team
That's what I hear.
Like that, that he's really that revered in the coaching ranks.
Offensive guy, that helps, and the coach of your stuff. The thing I don't know, though, I am iffy too, because what I don't know is how big of a decision, how big of a part did he play in trading for Deshaun Watson and saying, hey, my offensive system to him? Because I don't want to hear whining after the fact, he doesn't fit my system. You guys made this blockbuster trade for him. If he doesn't fit your system, then you're an idiot. So that's something I don't know. Maybe we'll never know of how much of a factor he played into that blockbuster trade.
Boy, do we have a lot to get into. Jump into comments if you have anything to say. Hey, stop. What's up with you two, pal? Thanks for jumping in. All right. We'll get into fantasy. I see some fantasy comments from our fantasy league. Oh, man, this thing's coming down to the wire, folks. We'll show you what's up. We'll tell you what's going on in our champs league. It is really, really interesting. 2 teams fighting for 1 spot, and it will be decided in the Monday Night Football game tonight. And despite the fact that I have clinched first place in the league, I am highly involved in that quest for one team or the other team to get in there, because one of those 2 teams is playing my team, and it is right to the wire. The projections say I should win by 2 points, but what do those stupid projections ever mean? Usually nothing at all. But it will be close. I assure you that, because it's lining up to be close. So we'll give you all the deets on that in just a little bit. Obviously, the Giants had the weekend off. The Jets took it on the chin from the Miami Dolphins. I want to talk to Boy Green about that, but let's not make that headline A yet.
Definitely
Let's
not.
start with the other New York team, and that's the Buffalo Bills. Come on, man.
Oh, yes.
Was fun. Buffalo and Cincinnati in the snow. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Burrow up, was it 10 late in the game?
Yeah, right.
Was looking like they're dead. People throwing snowballs at each other in the stands. And the next thing you know, 2 unbelievable turnovers. Christian Benford, what a play. Joe Burrow, he got a little goofy there. You don't see Joe Burrow get goofy all that often. Probably should have just dumped that ball away, taken the sack. Instead, Joe Burrow, desperation, throws this like two-handed, shovel-y looking thing kind of tries to get it over the head of Benford to the receiver, Jamar Chase, who would have gone nowhere. There was a defender right there. That defender could have even intercepted it. Instead, Benford gets to the peak of his jump like a receiver and high points the ball, catches it. Burrow has a shot at him, but can't wrap him up. Bolts for a touchdown, and that changes the whole momentum. People are going bananas in the stands, and then that leads to the very next play that Joe Burrow has the ball, a deflected pass, which can always happen, and it goes right into the hands of a Buffalo defender, and that leads to another score. Josh Allen getting crazy, running around in the snow as he always does, and the Bills find a way to win. Wow, is that a big win for the Bills and an absolutely devastating loss for Cincinnati. 39-34 was the final of that game. Boy Green, what'd you think of all that? That was great.
It was twofold. It was sexy because Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, and then snow. I love snow games. They're so much fun.
So much fun to watch.
Yeah, the celebrations of whether they're snow angels or fans throwing snowballs at each other, and really just like, when it gets that cold, you're there, you just have to embrace it. You're like, okay, we don't. If you're miserable about it, you knew the snow was coming, you should have sold your tickets. Like, it's just, man, the atmosphere was electric. Joe Burrow, again, there was this very small chance that they could go on this crazy run with the AFC North being wild, and maybe they could have fought their way back into this thing. This all but kills that. Now the best they can hope for, if they win out, is go 8-9, which is not going to be enough, I don't think, in the AFC North. So yeah, that was awesome, and I'm glad that Joe Burrow was able to be back to give us this great quarterback duel. It's not going to mean anything for the Bengals in terms of their season, what's left of it, but for us fans casually tuning into a Bills-Bengals game, I mean, that was electric, and the Buffalo needs it. Again, I think their chances of getting back into the AFC East mix are unlikely, but hey, making sure you stick in the playoffs, I think that's an important task here for Buffalo.
Yeah, no doubt. Buffalo needed that. I think they needed it for confidence too. They just needed to know that they're still a good team. And if you really look at it, after that win now, Buffalo is listed in the AFC as the second most likely team to make the Super Bowl. All right. So just think about that win flipped everyone's viewpoint that Buffalo's number 2. The odds makers say they are number 2 team behind Denver to win the AFC completely, which would get them in the Super Bowl, obviously. Right. And here's the big thing that really went down for the Bills. With Kansas City going down and now under 500, I mean, the numbers say, I know mathematically, it's not what is over mathematically is they can't win their division, and they've done that 9 straight years. So that streak is over.
AFC West, right?
And so, but they're not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. I think they still have a 16% chance of getting in.
Somehow.
So there are things that could go right, and they could win out. Who the heck knows? But they just don't look like a team that's going to win out. I haven't looked at their schedule. Maybe they got easy games. I don't know.
I'll pull that up. Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I think we saw the end of a dynasty. Okay. With Kansas City now looking like they're probably not going to even make the playoffs. They're certainly not winning division. And that plus Joe Burrow getting beat by Josh Allen in that snowstorm, knocking the Bengals likely out of any hopes for a playoff. We all thought if the Bengals could run the table, and they've got other tough games too, but if they could run the table, they might be able to, with that crazy division and everyone beating up on each other and everybody a great mediocrity, that they might be able to find their way back in. I think this loss against Buffalo kind of puts the nail in the coffin on that. So now if you're Josh Allen and the Bills, you're Sean McDermott, you've got no Joe Burrow, you've got no Patrick Mahomes. What's been the biggest issue for the Bills in recent years? Those two guys.
Mahomes, and
those
Burrow,
two guys, particularly Mahomes. All right, those two guys create problems for Buffalo. Now they don't have to face either one of them, and arguably they now have the best quarterback on the AFC side, I know Lamar could maybe get back in the picture.
And Drake May is probably the MVP this year, right?
But you can't compare, May at his young age to Allen.
Why?
He just doesn't have the seasoning. He hasn't been in playoffs.
I know. I'm just talking about like best quarterbacks in the AFC right now.
Absolutely, no doubt. But Allen now gets the break of being this cagey veteran guy that likely might be the only guy in. Lamar might not even get in. So now we'd have no Lamar, no Burrow, no Mahomes.
Crazy.
That seems like, come on, baby. Bills are going to the Super Bowl. Let's start celebrating now. I know Anthony Prohaska wouldn't want to hear me saying that. But yeah, you know what I mean? So,
but if they don't do it in this year, then when are they ever going to do it?
The road just got with that win and what went on outside of that win with other teams beating up on each other. Buffalo may have just, has this beautiful direct line now right to potentially a Super Bowl berth that has been so elusive. And in this year where they really haven't been all that great.
Crazy, right?
Could they get there? Is this going to be the year? The card's going to line, the star's going to align right. And the fact of the matter is, it really doesn't matter ultimately what the Bills do in the regular season if they get there. Okay, because a great quarterback in a spot can erase it all. And we've seen Josh Allen do that time and time again. So that was a remarkable win for the Bills, an important win for the Bills, and coupled with the other things that happened with both Baltimore and Kansas City losing yesterday, the path and the road just got a lot easier. I would put my money. I would put my money on the Bills over Denver any day. Today, tomorrow, you name it.
Well, didn't they play in the playoffs? The Bills blew them out, right? We just had that last year, right?
Denver's been really good this regular season, but if I had to in a playoff game, those two teams I'm putting my money on Buffalo every time.
All right, there you go. We'll see. Well, here is the Chiefs' path, Lurch. These are their final 4 games. It is home for the LA Chargers, at the Tennessee Titans, home for the Denver Broncos.
Okay, so they got 2 and 2. So they got two tough games, 2 easy games. So Tennessee and Vegas theoretically are easy, and they're the 2 on the road too, which makes it a lot better. All right, and then the home games are the Chargers and Denver.
So if they win out, it's not even a guarantee that they make the playoffs, but that's their only shot of hopefully making it, is winning out and getting help.
That's correct. They'd be 10-7, I think, if they went out. They're 6-7 now, so they'd be 10-7 if they went out. I don't know.
You could maybe see it, but I don't see them beating Denver though. So Chargers, sure. Although we go back, right? Wasn't that the first game? Not the first game of the season, but that was the Brazil game, right? Wasn't it Chargers Chiefs? And the Chiefs lost that one.
Yep,
so
that's correct.
Maybe they could beat the Chargers, especially with Herbert's health up in the air. Tennessee Raiders, of course, they could beat them. But Denver, I'm like, oh boy, Denver's been a monster. And Denver's trying to get the number 1 seed. Right now, if the playoffs started today, they would have the number 1 seed over New England. So that game obviously has super importance to Denver. Yeah.
I just want to remind people that game last night was in Kansas City. That was a home game for the Chiefs.
Yep.
And they lost 20-10.
Yeah.
So while you'd normally say, come on, they've got Los Angeles and Denver in their place, and then they've got 2 powder puffs on the road, this has all the makings of a 4-0 run here, to end the season for Kansas City, which might, somehow, some way, if the cards fall in their favor, they're in. They get into the playoffs, and then, of course, once they're in, look out. You got Patrick Mahomes and all those guys. But if you watch that game, the drops, the mistakes by Mahomes too, missing open guys. He had a couple opportunities. I was watching some of the film breakdown on Get Up this morning, and he had guys open for touchdowns and he missed them. Didn't see him or put the ball behind him. But how Rashee Rice dropped that pass, how Travis Kelce fumbled that thing and it turned into an interception. Just critical moments where guys who have been the glue, guys that have been the part of the whole story. All right. And what are they? I think the stat, I don't know, is 1-7 or 1-9 or something. In 1-score games this year, you might be able to find it really quickly. But in 1-score games, now yesterday won't qualify because it ended up being a 2-score game. But in 1-score games this year, they're absolutely awful. And it's the exact opposite of what they were last year.
They're 1-6 in 1-score games this year.
1-6. Okay. 1-6.
They were 12-0 last year in those games.
12-0. So you see how the worm turns? The worm has turned on Kansas City. Mahomes and his ability to just get it done in the waning moments and always turn, nothing into something is now the worm has turned, and it's just the odds have flipped. And now, like other teams, they're bumbling, they're stumbling, they're making the mistake that they don't need. To have it come down to the final thing every time isn't working out for them right now. So, it looks like it's the demise of the Chiefs. So It's good.
Is this
New blood,
something?
baby. Looking forward to some new blood.
Okay, you just answered my question because right, the NFL, right, and Chris Collinsworth was talking about this in the broadcast last night with Tarico. Like the Chiefs have been in whatever Tarico said 6 of 7 Super Bowls or some craziness of whatever they've been in. They've been in all these AFC Championship games. For them to potentially not even be in the dance, so like we're guaranteed to get new blood. Is that good or bad or indifferent? Because the Chiefs, we all love them or love to hate them, and that's great.
Right.
And been obviously great for ratings. And I saw on social media alerts, Eagles fans are taking credit for quote unquote breaking the Chiefs because it all dates back to the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs win, they win 3 in a row, and they're the first team ever to do it. Eagles blow their barn doors off, and now the Chiefs haven't looked the same since.
Okay.
Did the Eagles break the Chiefs? Eagles fans taking credit that they have.
Eagles fans, here's a note to self. Worry about your own team. Okay. I don't even know if you're going to beat the Chargers tonight, boys. So, that thing's coming off the wheels again. And we saw it come off. We saw the wheels come off a couple of seasons ago. It's not that long that we have to look back and see epic collapses by Philadelphia. So worry about yourself. You know what Eagles fans are today? They're like Jamie. That? Okay. Eagles fans are like Jamie, the FedEx guy. Okay. I told him, stop worrying about who you're facing in the playoffs, what you're doing, how this is going, who's this matchup, 2 people that have nothing to do with you. How about you find a way to win your game this week so that you punch your ticket to the playoffs and then you let, the gods decide who you're playing and figure that out next week. All right. But no, Jamie is one of those loves to look forward, already has himself, I've been on this run, therefore I'm in the playoffs. Well, guess what's going on with Jamie right now? We'll get into fantasy in more detail later. But what's going on with Jamie right now is if Brian Drake, who's playing me this week and is down a chunk of points, but has 3 players going in Monday Night Football, I'm done. Okay. And is projected right now to finish just 2 points shy of beating me, which we all know kind of what projections mean and what that, what that player should do. All right. If Brian Drake wins, Jamie's out of the playoffs. So he's all worried about who he's playing and who's playing who. And I don't want to be in the 2 seed. I don't want to be the 3 seed, but I could get all the way to here. I could do all this. He wasn't even in yet. Don't talk about being in until you're in. Don't talk about the bye and the scenarios and the opponent until you get your butt in. He didn't have his butt in, and he was talking about that stuff. That is the whammy. Don't do that in fantasy. Don't do that to yourself, all right? And don't put the whammy on yourself that way. So now he's got to hope that I win. Right? It's all on me. It's all on Brian Drake's 3 players do tonight. Jamie has no control. So that sucks because I just don't think
here it is.
You shouldn't think that way in fantasy. You shouldn't.
Here are the 3 players. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and Aronde Gadsden. And then let me get my calculator out here, get the quick math going on here for the specific
you can see the projection right under the scores. I know it's tiny there. All right. Yeah. But the projections are I'm done with 116.8. And Brian,
you have a 43-point lead, Lurch.
Yeah.
So again, you have a 43-point lead, and he's got Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and Aronde Gadsden. Now, any of these 3 players have gone off before to score crazy points, but will it happen tonight? Well, I guess we'll see. But a 43-point lead, Lurch. 43-point lead. I don't know how to feel if I'm you.
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, I'll do percentages, right? So the projections and the Yahoo people, we use Yahoo as our fantasy thing, say that I should win by 2 points. All right. And I think if I look at my app here, hold on, I do have it up. So it'll be easy to look it up quick. Okay. I'm a 55% chance to win, and he's a 45% chance to win, according to Yahoo. I would actually, looking at the players, the matchup tonight and the whole ball of wax, I actually think it's the other way around. I would give.
I think it's 60-40 Drake. If I was just making up
55-45 Drake, you say 60-40 Drake. So we're at least in the same vicinity. Slight advantage to Drake, despite the fact that the projections say I should win.
Because he gets push touchdowns. Those are 6 points in our league as a rushing touchdown versus a passing touchdown. Devontae Smith has gone off. Aronde Gadsden has gone off in the past. Now, he's stunk recently, but I mean, I would 43-point lead. But here's the thing. That's why you play the games, right? The Chargers could blow out the Eagles side 30-0, and then they pull the starters, and then it's a whole lot of nothing. So that's why you play the games. But wow, a lot of drama in fantasy football. A lot of drama indeed.
Or game script,
Yeah, of course. All kinds of things.
Maybe they're running it great tonight, the Eagles,
Or special teams touchdown or a pick six or something. And you're like, whoa, Jalen got a drive taken away from him. Yeah. Right. I don't know.
So, and then they're just sitting on the ball. So many things can happen. I told you I would way rather in these scenarios, especially in a close one like this, be the guy with the points on the board than the guy waiting for the points.
Agreed.
Now, he's got
Yeah.
3 players, which I think helps a little bit because one of them could have a bad game, one of them could have a great game, and that could swing it, rather than say if you just had one guy and you just relying on one guy to beat his projection or to get his projection. With 3 people, you got a little more to play with there, and he has one guy on one side and 2 guys on the other side. So, at least he's got, a chance for either side, to kind of have a night. But I don't know. That's a tough one. I give him a slight advantage.
Okay.
It will all depend on game script. But now Jamie's going to sit and watch that. And if he doesn't, if Drake gets his points, like we're projecting that he, is more likely than Yahoo says, then Drake's in, Jamie's out. And all that talk about who I'm going to play and what the seeding's going to be and how I'm going to avoid this guy and how I'm going to avoid that guy, it's all out the window. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Please.
Well, for me, I didn't get the bye, unfortunately. Big Al, I see he's in the chat. He scored many more points than me, so the tie won't matter. So now I'm just waiting to see who the hell I'm playing in round 1. So it all depends on this game this evening to see who the hell I'm playing. So we will see. And Lurch, I want to continue to promote this. We are 12 people away, 12 subscribers away, folks, from getting to 400 subscribers. Think about this. We have 117 people in the room right now at this point in time. 117 people. So if you guys right now just opened up an app on your phone, on your tablet, or on your laptop, whatever, and subscribe right now, we can get there right now. We're doing free giveaways, folks. Free. All you have to do is subscribe to be eligible, which again is free. That's youtube.com/MC Show Digital. I'll drop it in the YouTube comment section a few times so you guys can just click the link and jump right over to it if you're watching on my YouTube or my Twitter account or what have you. But subscribe to the channel. Open up a new tab. We're giving away free stuff, which Alert's about to highlight here in a second. Again, we're 12 subscribers away. There you go. Let's go to that first one.
Beautiful. Bobby Mercer.
We're 12 subscribers away from this. Yeah.
Right. And I will ship this right to your house, send it to you. Beautiful Christmas gift for you or for your grandpa, or for your dad, or for whoever loves.
And again, say that again, Lurch. Who is that?
Bobby Mercer, the legendary Yankee player. Very good. I got that autograph myself in person. Beautiful. Bobby's a really nice guy. Really good dude.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, again, in 12 subscribers, we're giving away that. And think about that again, folks. An autographed baseball. If you're a Yankee fan yourself, sweet, you get a cool gift. Christmas is, oh, my God, it's 17 days away. I'm not ready for that. Christmas is 17 days away. You could get a sweet gift that you could give somebody. 12 subscribers away. Right now, we're only 12 subscribers away. I hope at one of these live shows is where we break through. That would be awesome. So, again, youtube.com/MC Show Digital. What are you waiting for? It's free to do.
By the way, I posted it yesterday where we surpassed the 150,000 views thing. So in 5 months, 150,000 views is nothing to sneeze at. We want to see if we can really build on that. But that's fantastic. Every month we're getting more and more views. It means more and more people are getting their eyes on our page. But in order to make that just more of a regular occurrence and really try to build that number, it does come down to our dedicated subscribers and those folks being a big part of our family. So I hope you join our family. We're nice people. It's a good family to be part of. And like Boy Green said, we're going to really try to incentivize our road to 500 subscribers. So we're 12 away from 400. We'll incentivize really, really strongly all the way up to 500. Still waiting at the end of that rainbow at 500 too, on top of other things we're going to give away all along the way, is that golf club that I've shown you 100 times. I'm not grabbing it again.
Okay.
You've seen it. All right. You've seen it a million times. All right. It is a Cleveland Highbore XL brand new driver in the packaging, head cover included, never been used, brand spanking new. And it was donated by our friends who are actually sponsoring today's broadcast, our friends at Play It Again Sports. Play It Again Sports, where you can bring your used sporting goods for cash money. Or you can get some nice store credit as well. Or if you're looking to, say, get a snowboard right now, skis, since we're in ski season here in the Northeast, other winter sports, hockey gear, man, those crazy goalie pads. You know how much those go for? I was dreamed when I was a kid to get those goalie pads. My dad and mom could never afford to get them for me. It was a very, very sad Manchild story. The gift I never got that I wanted more.
Maybe you could still get them. I don't know what you would do with them now, but
I couldn't do anything with them now. I have no flexibility, and I could never be a hockey goalie now. But when I was a kid, I wanted to be a hockey goalie, and I never got to live in that. Never got to live that dream, other than in my neighbor's driveway, where George Michael Irving used to shoot 100-mile-per-hour shots at me with couch cushions strapped to my leg with belts. Okay, I used physical belts. And the cushions that are inside couch cushions strapped to my legs, chest protector, baseball face guard, the craziest cockamamie, weirdest looking goalie you ever see in the history of mankind. And I used to and a baseball glove on one hand, and I would just, deflect shots away from him. He's constantly trying to get him by. get them by me in the net, in this little tiny net we had in the driveway in the cement in Queens Village, New York. So yeah, living my childhood again. But I never did get those goalie pads. But you can get them at a discounted price, dare I say, because they sell used ones. I've seen them at Play It Again Sports.
Wow.
So think about all those winter sports. It's fantastic. So you can save tons of money on your sporting goods, and you can also bring used sporting goods, gently used. They like stuff that's really more recent and stuff that, so don't wait forever. Don't let them stay in your garage for 10 years, because then if you bring them to Play It Again, they either might not take them or they're worth very little. But if you are done with them, like, a lot of us have kids and they grow out of their soccer cleats, so they grow out of their, their baseball glove. You get a new baseball glove, bring those in then, and then you can get, more prime money for them, right? Because they're more recent. So think about it that way, that you can just kind of expunge every so often. When you do your spring cleaning, bring it on down to Play It Again Sports. Great, great people. And they are located right here in Central New York and Syracuse, in DeWitt on Erie Boulevard in the Taco Bell Plaza. All right. So there you go. Go see our friends at Play It Again today. All right, Boy Green. Tell you what, let's take 30 seconds and learn a little bit more about Play It Again, even though I just told you all that about them. And then when we come back, we got a lot of stuff to get into. We got those other big games that we were talking about all week long. We've got the season-ending Achilles injury that happens to Daniel Jones. What is the fate of the Colts now? We've been seeing them on a free fall, but is the free fall about to go off a cliff, Boy Green? Are they toast? Are they finished? Are they not even going to be a playoff team? We got to talk about that, okay? And what else, man? There's just so many. The controversy in that Steelers game, we're not going to get away from not talking about that. Did Isaiah Likely have a touchdown, and was it reversed in bad form? We're going to talk about all that when we return. But first, some words here from our friends at Play It Again Sports.
When you don't want to pay full price for sporting goods, and who does, then there's only one place to go in Syracuse. Play It Again Sports. With both new and gently used gear, Play It Again has prices way less than regular retail stores. Another unique aspect of this awesome sporting goods store is that they will give you money for that quality sports gear collecting dust in your basement, attic, or garage. No appointment necessary, just bring it into the store. Play It Again Sports in the DeWitt Town Center on Erie Boulevard, right next to Crunch Fitness. Don't spend more, play it again. PlayItAgainSportsSyracuse.com.
All right, we are back. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital is our handle. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. 12 subscribers away from giving away a Bobby Mercer autographed baseball. Boy Green just talked all about it. All right, and if you missed the beginning of our broadcast, by the way, you can always go back, and it is in the playback right in our YouTube channel. That's why you want to belong at YouTube, because you can see all of our archives. You can go back and watch our picks from last weekend and laugh at us and giggle at us at all the silly things that we said during the NFL picks. I said some good things, but I also said some silly things. So all of that kind of stuff is all rewatchable in our YouTube channel, and these live shows are included in that as well. So if you miss a piece, you can always go back and re-rack it and check it out. It's posted as soon as we finish up, basically, when it comes to the live shows. All right, just some quick melancholy, Boy Green. I mentioned off the top of the show that I decorated the house yesterday.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
So the lovely decided to go out. She had to run some errands, and I was like, it's time. Like, we haven't done anything. I've been behind.
Okay.
I'm like been grading all my classes. I gotta get the house decorated. So she went out, and I did like world.
Nice.
In like 4 hours. Cleaned up. Got rid of some of the clutter. All right, things that have been sitting around. Put all those things away, organized them, and then pulled up the Christmas stuff and decorated the room. Did a really, really, really nice job. So our living room looks like Christmas now. I got twinkling lights and tinsel and garland and
oh, great.
All kinds of figurines. We did not. Next year, we're going to do it. But this year, we're going to be out of town for a good piece of the holidays. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be working with you remotely.
Okay, great.
About a week before Christmas.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to put up. I like real trees. So I didn't want to go out and get a real tree, and then we're gone for 2 weeks, or close to 2 weeks. Then the real tree, just drooping to the ground. And we thought about getting a fake tree, but we decided not to do it. But we do have some really nice kind of, I'm going to call them like little, like 2.5 foot, to 2.5 foot-ish mini trees you put on a tabletop, you put on a desk.
Okay.
So we have 2 of those. And so one is up. I'll get the other one up today. So we don't have.
And real or fake on those ones?
Those are both fake. Yeah. Fake.
Okay.
Yeah, those are both fake.
So fake is the way to go. Fake is
100%
100% the way to go.
It lasts.
Me and my fiance
I love the smell of the real trees.
You can recreate the smell. There's smelling a can. There's literal like smelling things you can put on them. Like me and my fiance get into this all the time because she was apparently a real tree family, and I was a fake tree. The fake tree is great. It's around forever. It's one initial investment, and then it's there. Guess what? Upkeep. No sap. No sap. No this, no that. No watering the tree. None of that nonsense has to happen. No pines falling on the ground. It's just convenient. It has
Yeah.
the lights already on them. You ornament it up, and we've got she bought new garland. Sure, you want to garland it up? Why the hell not? That's
Gotcha.
fine. But fake tree. Who wants a real tree? It's a lot of real hassle. I'd like none of that hassle. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I get you. I get you, and you might be right. There are lots of people out there that love fake, and the good thing is, fake keeps coming back every year, and save yourself a lot of money doing fake as well. So, but regardless, so I just did the mini tree. So number one,
Okay.
I'm in the Christmas spirit. Number two, ironically, I end up doing it. Yesterday was my mom's birthday. Now my mom just turned 88, double eights.
Wow.
My mom.
Wonderful.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
happy
awesome.
birthday.
You know, we should send congratulations. My mom does watch our videos from time to
No.
time. I see
Shout
her
out to
popping in.
Mama
I see her
Manchild.
popping in
All
the
right.
like every once in a while.
Excellent, great.
She's a subscriber, dedicated subscriber. Thank you, Mom, for subscribing. Yeah, so she's 88. My mom is doing great, but I still worry every Christmas. You know, how many more Christmases am I getting with my mom? You know, I mean, like we're all mortal. You know, I
Yeah,
hope
you
she
gotta
lives to 100.
cherish.
You know, I might
Yeah.
have a dozen more Christmases with my mom, but I don't know. You know, and
Right.
so especially as she's now in her 80s, which is I think a feat for any human being these days.
Course.
You know, I just become more and more concerned. And so I get a little melancholy around the holidays, which is why I'm going to spend some extra time down in New York and do some shows remotely so I can spend some time with my mom, who I don't get to
We
see.
have the ability to do that. That's technology,
Yeah,
Lurch.
I'm
Yeah.
5 hours away from her. So, you know, it's hard to get down there regularly. I try to when I can. But so, and then I got Mookie laying next to me over here. And Mookie is 13 years old now. He'll be 14
Wow.
next May. And I wonder how much longer is Mookie going to be laying at my side when I do these videos, you know? So the holidays are great. They're a great celebration for a lot of people. But then there's you know, you get that melancholy of like, you know, like enjoy it while it lasts, like celebrate it while you can, you know, savor the moments. And rather than get in the argument about some stupid thing with somebody, instead, you know, like do the you know, I'm going to be the good guy this holiday season. I do something really cool. I've told you about this, and I never divulge who it is, so you're not going to get anything out of me. But every year, I go and I find a person who sometimes it's someone relatively connected in my life. Sometimes it's just someone I meet along the way. It's not usually like someone just like on the street that I walk up to. Like usually I know something about the person through something. And
Okay.
I find out something. Usually it's because of an interaction that I go, oh man, that would be awesome for that person. And I go
Okay.
with that person a gift. And then I pop in on them usually within a couple of weeks of Christmas, you know, somewhere right before Christmas. I'll have to do it a little early since I'm going out of town this year, unless I decide to do something down in New York. Could do that.
Right. Sure.
I haven't picked my person yet this year, and I get a special gift for that person that they're completely not expecting, and I deliver it to them.
Wow.
Merry Christmas. And then they're like, whoa, I should have. And I'm like, you shouldn't have gotten me something. This is something I do every year. I like to warm up a person.
Pay it forward. Nice.
No way of knowing that I would be giving them something. So
That's
there's
cool.
a few candidates right now. I'm trying to figure out which candidate I want to pick.
Okay.
But it's just a cool way to celebrate the holidays. So like do something like that. I'm saying you have to do what I do, but like do something like that kind of like brightens up someone else's day and does, you know, like that's a cool thing to do for Christmas.
So like in the drive-through, pay for the guy behind you.
Yeah, kind of like that. You know, I go a little more than that, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. You know, I've had that happen to me
So-
at Christmas time.
So
Yeah.
what have been the it's okay. So I like this is the first time I've ever heard of this. I don't think you've ever told me this story before, or if you have, I guess I completely forgot. But when you just surprise whoever this person is, someone in your life. Again, you say you're not going up to a hobo. It's someone that you have some sort of
Correct.
a connection to in some form or fashion.
Mhm.
What is the reactions you've got? Is there one that stands out? A story that you're like, whoa, like the reaction was like falling to their knees, like this is so cool, and I'm so like sort of jaw dropped by this gesture.
This to me, there's not one that stands out, but
Okay.
yeah, the reaction is usually great. Reaction is usually, crazy surprise. Like what? That's nuts.
And this is a personal gift, or is this just like a gift
Yes.
card?
No, it's a personal gift. Yes.
Oh wow,
I
that
find
hits
I find
even
it-
more.
I find an item of need, right? Correct. Something
That's
that
awesome.
the person would either want, needs, There's some intrinsic connection. I can't even
Okay.
explain it, Paul. I'm always just
Right.
looking for that person and that gift. So it's just kind of one of those, like, I pinpoint it. I just kind of know what I'm looking for, you know?
I think it's cool though, because like again, obviously everyone could use a gift card. If I get a gift card to my favorite restaurant,
Sure.
oh my god, that's so cool, thank you. But like to get like a real gift of something that is like memorabilia, or like a utility item that would help that person in their life, man, that's cool. That's got that sort of personal touch that shows that you're not just, again, if you give out a gift card, that's wonderful. Anyone who does that out in the universe or pay for the person behind you, that's cool. But man, going to that next level, like that's a really cool gesture, and hopefully other people will take you up on trying to pay that forward and do that themselves. That's awesome.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. So just cool. So again, just a little bit of Christmas spirit stuff. All right, we got a lot of football to talk about, so I'm sorry
Sure,
we had a
right?
hard
Yeah,
time talking about Christmas stuff, but we are getting in the Christmas spirit, and we're only a few weeks away. And for
yeah.
those of you that celebrate Hanukkah and other holidays, don't mean to disinclude you either. We include you all. Whatever holiday it is, go do this cool thing. Okay. So let's get into some of this other stuff. Let's go to that Pittsburgh-Baltimore game. It was a remarkable game. Pittsburgh wins 27-22. Now, this one was in Baltimore. Just a couple of weeks from now, they're going to play in Pittsburgh. So that's still
Correct,
on the
right.
slate here.
Yeah.
And so Pittsburgh gets the one in Baltimore. So now the only way Baltimore can get back in this thing is they got to get that one in Pittsburgh. And obviously there's some other games to be played too. But the Isaiah Likely play, oh my goodness. I mean, wow. I'm a big believer in trying not to say the referees, decided a game. But this one, to me, I mean, I don't understand it. Number one, it was called a touchdown on the field. Okay. So, like, the whole idea is when it's called on the field, that's always the quick out for the referees. It's like they called it on the field and there's not enough to turn it over. So, change the call.
Right.
So, leave the call. Like, that actually, of all the things that have surfaced about replay, that to me actually has been one of the more positive things, because just the luck of the draw, what that official saw in the moment turns out to be oftentimes a help to that side of the argument, if the argument is really just that close. And I actually like that, like, all right, well, darn it, now they're going to need more because it's, and so that level of proof, gets raised a little bit more if you're on the other side of the argument, the one that wasn't called on the field. But this was one that was called on the field. And then the official after the game, I saw the written explanation. Did you see that?
Oh, the pool report is what they call it. Yes.
Then 2. There was like 3 steps to a catch. The guy was in the end zone. He clearly had possession of the ball, and he clearly took 2 steps. Does anyone need any more? It should have been a touchdown. And we don't know what ends up happening in that game. If that happens, that puts them in front. And who knows, that could add more drama to the game. And somehow, some way, they looked at that play and decided that the third criteria wasn't met, and they're going to flip that thing. That was unbelievable to me. I couldn't believe it. I would be just incensed if I'm a Ravens fan. That could be their season. It could be their season. Could be come down to that. Now it looks like they're going to have another chance, but that could be their season. That's brutal. I don't know if you agree with me. I thought it was a god awful call, and I don't know how the league is going to live with themselves after reversing that call. That was terrible.
Yeah, I agree. I thought clearly it was a catch. I apparently I don't know what a catch is anymore. Again, for those who are uninitiated, when the refs go back, so right, they call a touch on the field, they review it. If they don't have enough to overturn it, they say call stands. That means they did not have enough. Like, even if they review it and they're like, oh yeah, that was a touchdown, they will say call confirmed. So they'll use that verbiage and say, oh, yeah, not only was it a touchdown, we know it was a touchdown. So the call on the field was 1,000% right. When they said call stands, like, there wasn't enough to show it. We'll just keep it as it is. And then when you reverse it, obviously there had to have been enough to flip it the other way. I thought there was clearly a touchdown. I have no idea what's going on. And also, here's the thing, Lorch, I don't know if you know about Isaiah Likely's history, but he has had all kinds of weird stuff. Not this game, the previous game, as he was heading into the end zone, he got the ball punched out, and that was incredibly unlucky. In the Ravens-Chiefs opener from a couple of years ago, there was a Thursday night football game. At the end, Lamar Jackson seemingly found Isaiah Likely for what would have been a touchdown that would have brought it to overtime. Oh, sorry, Isaiah Likely, your tippy toe was on the line. Incomplete, you lose. So he's had some bizarre
Oof.
like game-changing moments in a variety of games that come to mind. And now with Mark Andrews getting the bag from the Ravens this past week, you got to think that Isaiah Likely is going to eventually, he is likely to land somewhere else via trade, hook or crook or what. So I'm curious to see where he goes, because obviously he's a talented guy that's been sort of buried on a depth chart with a future Ring of Honor member there in Mark Andrews. So yeah, there was a horrific call. That's terrible. And again, the good news for the Ravens is you control your own destiny from the standpoint that you play the Steelers again, so you can make it even, but
Correct.
you're going to have to try to make up ground, because then we're going into deeper level tiebreakers. And they use this term in MMA all the time. Never leave it in the hands of the judges. You can complain about what the judges say at the end, but if you didn't want to, you should have finished it in the ring. The Ravens have a chance to, quote unquote, finish it in the ring. They got to make up some extra ground here. I don't imagine the Steelers are going to win out. So you, in theory, have a chance to make sure it doesn't, quote unquote, go to the judges, and we'll see if they can do that.
Yeah. Ooh, that was unbelievable. And by the way, did you also see the Aaron Rodgers play? That was another thing. So I forget which way it was called on the field again, but like, the ball, it's a deflected ball, goes up. Rodgers catches it and is coming to the ground. And somehow in a pile of people, they determined that he had his knees on the ground and he had possession of the ball for half a second, maybe a tenth of a second. And that because of that, it wasn't a fumble. Meanwhile, the ball ended up in the Ravens' hands out of the pile. Like, when does that happen? Like, the Steelers got two gifts yesterday. That Rodgers thing was unbelievable. And then it was capped off by that horrible call on Likely. I mean, that was like the guy, and that was in Baltimore. If it was in Pittsburgh, like maybe you could, and it's always that, that home team bias thing. But this was in Baltimore. That both of those things went against the Ravens. That was rough to watch, man. Those were two calls that should have both gone the other way and would have changed potentially the course of that game. Wow.
Yeah, I just rewatched the footage because, again, I saw it yesterday, of course, but just to see it again on the Aaron Rodgers deflection, it clearly looks like Aaron gets the ball back. He doesn't appear to have a knee down by the time that the ball exchanged hands. I mean, that's
the ball's just in the pile and people are hitting it around. I mean, like, come on. I mean, like, he didn't have possession of it long enough for it. I mean, that thing was loose, man. That thing was loose.
Right. So that's the thing, that even if Aaron got his knee down, it doesn't matter if the ball's bobbling around, you don't have possession. That's just a live ball until it touches the ground where it would be dead. So
with all the prerequisites that we lay out for catches for receivers, like it was moving slightly and like that, you're going to say, oh, well, he had his knee on the ground
definitive,
for a second while he definitively had the ball, and you couldn't even really see it. Like, what angle did they have that you saw Rodgers clearly with solid possession of the ball and knees on the ground? Come on. That didn't exist in that picture. That was, wow, the Steelers got one there. So they win 27-22. Unbelievable. What other games were that? We got to talk about Indianapolis. So let's go to Daniel Jones next. All right, so heartbreaking. Non-contact, goes down, reaches for the calf. We know what that means. Achilles City. And it is, and it was.
He's out for the season.
Jones is done.
Obviously.
Yeah. Let's not talk about it. Oh, he could. He's not. It's an Achilles.
No.
He's done. Okay.
100%.
Backup actually played reasonably well. Of course, they lost the game 36-19, so none of it mattered. Jacksonville played very well. Jacksonville has now become a contender. They are starting to show some things here.
They lead the AFC South now.
Nice to see, Brian Thomas Jr. actually catching passes for Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
Really haven't been able
to
understand
catches.
What's been going on with him and that team and why he's not the primary target. He's a heck of a receiver. So Jacksonville's in the driver's seat, but what about Indy, Paul? I mean, what does this mean for Indianapolis? Now, throw up their schedule if you can for a second.
Yeah,
what
sure.
Do they have left? I mean, it's getting complicated. Now, let me pull the standings here. I mean, Indianapolis is wow. I mean,
they've lost 3 in a row. So
the wheels are coming off, man. And now Jones is yikes.
Yeah, and they made the ballsy move of trading for Sauce Gardner. The Jets own their first round picks over the next 2 years. Yeah, so
now they're behind Jacksonville officially.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
They're tied with the Texans, who are surging.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Here are the final 4 games for the Colts. I'll just go there. So the Colts are 8-5 right now. They're at Seattle, home for San Francisco, home for Jacksonville, at Houston. The Colts could lose out. 100%. It's on the table. They could lose out and miss the playoffs. If the playoffs started today, the Colts would not be in it, folks. That's the God honest truth here. So again, I'm pulling up the schedule so
they're
you guys
eighth
can
right
see it
now.
on your screen. Yeah,
8th.
they're 8th out of 7 teams that make the playoffs, so they'd be outside of the playoffs. Here's the schedule. They could easily lose all of these. All of these teams on your screen are in the playoffs right now. So, yeah, it's brutal news for the Colts. Yeah, Riley Leonard is the backup quarterback that you were mentioning before. Notre Dame Golden Domer. Salute you, Riley Leonard. Appreciate you, pal.
We're going to have a little Notre Dame conversation coming up in a few minutes.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. And also, we'll have that on with Bud Poliquin on our show tomorrow. So that should all be a journey.
Your dad must be beside himself. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. We have, there's a million Notre Dame conversations to happen. But, yeah, so long story short, the Colts, and this is devastating. So Daniel Jones out for the year. And I know what doctors are saying, but, like, normally an Achilles is a year thing. We're here in December, man. Like, people are saying they think he can be ready for next year. I don't see that. So I think he's going to be out for part of that too. He's set to be a free agent. If you're the Colts, you're pot committed. You gave up your 2 number 1s to the Jets. And part of that is acquiring Sauce Gardner. Part of the other reason is you believed in Daniel Jones. We don't need 2 number 1s to get a quarterback. We have a quarterback, so we're good. But now Daniel Jones is out for the rest of this season. You have to sort of figure it out. You're going to likely miss the playoffs. And then you have to bring back Daniel Jones the offseason. You're sort of pot committed to him after giving up 2 number 1s to the Jets.
Right.
And if the Colts don't make the playoffs, their first round pick is at minimum a top 18 pick because that's for non-playoff teams. If they lose out, this could be a top 15 pick going to the Jets for this year. So there's no other way to put it. This is for the Jets fans.
For the Jets.
Excellent.
Yikes.
Jets, celebrate, pop your bubbly. That's great because that could play a factor in if the Jets want to trade up for a quarterback. That could play a factor if they just get another really good player to plug and play who's a top 15 pick. So, this is devastating news for the Colts. I feel awful. They started 7-1, Lurch, and quite frankly, they should have been 8-0. The one loss they had when they started 7-1 was to the Rams, and Adonai Mitchell, the receiver, had a touchdown and then threw it through the back of the end zone, and then he had a holding call on a 70-yard Jonathan Taylor touchdown with 2 minutes to go. That was wiped off the board. If you take those away, they start off 8-0. And they went to 7-1 instead, and now they're 8-5. And they could, again, look at the schedule on your screen, folks. They could easily lose out. I mean, I just feel awful for the Colts. I mean, they've had a hell of a season. Indiana Jones was the story of the season, and I just feel awful for the Colts. Does it benefit the Jets, of course, but I don't root for injuries. Whatever happens, happens. I don't hope Sauce Gardner gets pushed down the stairs. I don't hope Quinnen gets thrown in front of a bus. The trades will happen. The gods will allow what the gods allow. The picks are the picks. So, yeah, I just feel terrible for Indy.
Yeah. Awful. And that's, seeing that schedule now, they're in trouble.
That is brutal.
They're not in trouble.
I mean, that is brutal.
They might be deader than the Chiefs, even though they're 8-6.
Yeah.
They might be deader than the
Correct.
Chiefs. More dead than the Chiefs, whatever the word is. That's with your backup quarterback, that's almost unthinkable.
Yeah. Who is a 6th-round pick or something? Yeah. Like, oh, God.
Just like a lot of teams, they try to get a decent guy as a backup, but like a lot of teams, they don't have a legit backup.
What they do, it's Anthony Richardson. But
Richardson, right? That's right.
But remember this, folks. When he was warming up,
either.
Well, that's also fair.
He's a talent. He's a talent.
But as he was warming up for a game, either it was a person that ran into him or the football hit him in the face. He suffered an orbital fracture before a game while warming up. Like, what in the world? So he's still on IR, so he can't even come back yet. I don't know when he can come back based on the orbital fracture recovery timeline. So, my God, what a disaster.
That's not far from the Tyrod Taylor getting the shot from the doctor and
punctured lungs. Right.
I mean, what just happened?
The things that happen in the National Football League. Just when you think you've seen it all. Yeah.
So that's a situation for sure. We got to talk about the Bears and the Packers. The rivalry is back, baby. I mean, the Bears are back. The rivalry's back. The Bears could have, maybe even should have won that game. You got to question a little bit. Now, Ben Johnson has been phenomenal. So I'm not here it's not pick on Ben Johnson day. But I did not like the 4th-and-1 call there. They have relied all year on their terrific running game. So I just think there could have been at least some run pass option kind of thing if you're going to include the passing game in that play. For it to just be a straight up pass, though, the way it was, and then Caleb kind of scrambling and then trying to, thread the needle and not being able to do it. That, to me, that was a bad call. I think that Green Bay actually doped it out. They took that time out, and I think LaFleur kind of had his defense prepared because they had used that play earlier in the game and had used it in other crunch situations this season. So it's the old watch tape. This is what a good coach does. And so LaFleur, I think, actually had the lead on it. And Ben Johnson, the creative play caller, actually got outcalled by the other head coach and his defense because they kind of anticipated what they were going to do and had it covered for the most part. So give me your take on it. I mean, an excellent game. The great thing is we're going to see these two teams in less than 2 weeks playing each other. So this thing is back on. That is the one that Green Bay should have won, in all honesty, even though the Bears were at that point the number 1 seed. They're playing in their own building, and it was a barn burner run down to the end. So now the Bears just have to return the favor, just like, Baltimore's going to have to return the favor to the Steelers. So we've got two really interesting division rivalries in those two, and we will see second matchups down in the stretch of the season. So this is the schedule makers really doing a good job, because we're going to get a repeat of this, and we'll see if the Bears can bounce back. But Matt LaFleur, 12-1 against the Bears now. Oh, boy, that's not good.
Man, there's a lot to say. First off, a quick shout out to the schedule makers. They made a recent change somewhere in the last, it's called 8 years, where the ends of seasons used to be the Jets could, let me make up a Bears example. The Bears could have played the Chiefs at the end, which is opposite conference, no divisional games. Now, divisional games are built into the ends of seasons, and it's become theater. Those division games decide who makes the playoffs, who wins the division. Like, smart decision. I don't know what took so long, but smart decision by the NFL decision maker. Sometimes they mean nothing, right? The Jets-Bills game in Week 18, that'll mean something for Buffalo, I guess, but that means nothing for the Jets. But sometimes you schedule this, and wow, that's for the division title. We had that last year. Vikings-Lions, 14 wins, 14 wins. Someone's about to get this thing, which is terrific. So shout out to the schedule makers for that standpoint. In terms of Packers-Bears, this was the best Packers-Bears game and the one that's meant the most in 20 years between these two teams. I mean, we're going back to playoff games. We're talking about Packers-Bears in the Aaron Rodgers days of who's advancing to the Super Bowl. I mean, awesome theater. It's great to see. I think the NFL is better when the Chicago Bears are relevant. It's been a long time since they've been consistently relevant. I know they went to the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts in the mid-2000s, but, for a lot of this recent history of Rex Grossman and Jay Cutler and every other direction they've gone, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, it seems like finally there's something here. The thing that I question, though, about all this Bears thing is, so no Rome Odunze, and that sucks. Rome Odunze has been terrific and hurts your fantasy team and everything else, but okay, the trade that you moved in that case back in the draft was getting DJ Moore. You were getting this guy who's supposed to be this dynamic weapon. You pay him a lot of money. He had one catch for -4 yards. Where's
terrible?
Okay, if you have DJ Moore with Rome Odunze, he should be doing things. When there's no Rome Odunze, of course DJ Moore. And he was frustrated after the game. I don't blame him. Where's DJ Moore, man? One catch for -4 yards with all the money you're paying him with your division on the line. The Bears were the number 1 seed before this game. They're now the 7th seed. They're now the final wild card team in the NFC. That just shows you how razor thin it is over there on the NFC side, which is crazy. So the inactive use of DJ Moore to me was absolutely bizarre, puzzling. And I think if they have any hopes when they meet again, hopefully Rome Odunze is healthy for them, but you got to get DJ Moore involved. He's a guy you're paying a lot of money to. That's been strange.
Yeah, they should have a really strong 1-2 punch, and they really have not been able to deliver on that at all. Even when Odunze was playing well, DJ Moore was out of the equation. Then DJ got in the mode for a few weeks, and Odunze was kind of being the forgotten guy. Yeah, Ben's a good play caller, but in terms of involving his guys at the level at which they should, based on what they're getting paid, number one, and number two, their skill set, he just doesn't seem to be getting the most out of some of those guys. So DJ Moore is definitely a little bit of a conundrum right now with the Bears. I don't disagree with that at all. But man, I'm looking forward to that meeting again in a couple of weeks. All right, a couple others I want to touch on, and then I want to get to some things outside the box, including college football, the World Cup draw. I want to get to all this stuff. We'll just touch on these things at least a little bit today because they are big, big sports stories. So where was I? Covered Houston. We got to talk about it just quickly. The backdoor cover by the Las Vegas Raiders. So I know many of you out there, dare I say, dabble in the world of gambling. You've got your phone app like I do. You're on DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever it is, MGM, wherever you bet your thing. And on our sheet, and it was probably it was probably the primary spread out there. I don't, spreads can move a little bit, half a point here or there. But the spread when we picked it on Friday was 7.5 points. Vegas was the home team underdog against the Denver Broncos. The final score was 24-17. Okay. The Raiders cover by a half a point. Okay. They lose by 7.
Beautiful.
The spread is 7.5. And Boy Green is doing a happy dance, and you'll understand in a moment why. But something happened in that game that I can't recall ever happening before. It probably has in the annals of history of football. It probably has, but it just had no place, and it was so weird and awkward and bizarre. Okay, and here's what happened. Denver's up 10.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You told me something I didn't even know, Boy Green, because I was watching pieces of that game on Red Zone, so I didn't watch the whole game. So we get to the end of the game. Give your piece first, and then I'll give the other piece. So the Raiders have the ball. They're down 10. Yeah. They're not going to win, but they're trying to score some more points. So they're going down the field, and what happens?
Yeah, so there's 8-10 seconds left in the game. The Raiders complete a pass, and the Raider that catches it, falls to the ground, and a Bronco comes over and sort of holds him down for a second. But we see it all across the National Football League. Whoa, I slipped. And then you can hold them for a second. The refs normally let you do that for a little, but if you do it too long, they normally throw a flag. It's called delay of game, but on the defense. Very unusual. But they do that because obviously the defender is trying to waste time and force discombobulation. So anywho, Raiders complete a pass. I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to get the ball back to be able to spike
the line to spike it, because there's only 8 before. So, you know how long it takes, folks. It takes, usually
you
more
have to get the whole team up there.
Get one more play, which still isn't going to make any difference. But what the heck? You play to the end. So good for the Raiders for playing to the end. And they won. So they throw the flag.
So, they throw the flag on the Bronco. The Bronco held them for a second. He did. But you normally don't call that. So they throw the flag with 6 seconds left or something. And they say delay game defense. So clock stops. And now the Raiders get untimed down, although there was time left. So they gave some of that time back and they give it to them. But if they don't throw that flag, the game's over and the Raiders lose by 10.
Ends at that moment. So now you've got your cover. Imagine if you have a 6-leg parlay and the Raiders are your last.
Oh my God.
The Broncos are your last piece. You're doing your happy dance and you just won, a couple of grand, and now you're like, what the heck just happened, right?
Jesus.
So the penalty's called, and now the Raiders decide on what's going to be the final play of the game with a few ticks left on the clock. You know what? Run the field goal unit out there. We'll just kick a field goal as time expires, and we'll lose instead of by 10, by 7. That never happens. What you would do, what any coach would typically do, is throw a Hail Mary from wherever you are, or run the old hook and ladder, the lateral play, whatever, and you try to get 6 more if you can. You're still losing the game, but you try to get 6 more. You go for the most amount of points because you're down 10. No, Pete Carroll runs the field goal unit out there, and they make the field goal and get the backdoor cover by 7. The spread is 7.5. So I'm sorry to any of you out there who had the Denver Broncos in some kind of bet that was going to be the winning thing. And now that's what you get from Pete Carroll. I said, there are going to be people with pitchforks and torches outside of Pete Carroll's house. I was saying this to Boy Green yesterday tonight. After that, nobody does that. That never happens in football. And yet Pete Carroll did exactly that.
Thank you, Pete.
And of all things, it has to be the Las Vegas Raiders that do it, where the king, the headquarters for gambling is. What is going on there? The conspiracy theories will be out there. Pete's on the take. What the heck? What? Why would he do that? That made 0 sense from a coaching standpoint. Absolutely, positively 0 sense. I've never seen that. I've never seen. I don't know if it's ever happened. I've never seen that. A field goal when you're down 10, when you know there's not going to be any more plays. It's going to be the final play of the game. No one ever does that. So Boy
made
Green
perfect sense to me.
Lone wolfer by Boy Green, daring to take Vegas. Right? But worse than that, anybody that actually had real money on that game, was we just do it for fun.
Right. We just do it for shits and giggles.
That's oh my goodness. Wow. How did that bleeping happen? Oh my God.
Terrific.
I text Boy Green as soon as it happened. I was like, is that spread?
I was watching that game too.
I'm like, oh my God, it is. What did Pete Carroll just do? He just infuriated a large section of the betting population, is all I could say about that. Woo! Okay. All right. 2 more I want to get to. Number 1, quickly, your Jets, Boy Green. I know it was not a pretty one, 34-10. What do you carry out of this one, if anything? Tell us what happened with the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets got smacked around. They got pushed around, and there was all these streaks, right? Like Tua does not perform well in cold weather. Any game under 45 degrees, he's 0-7 all time. The temperature at kickoff was under 45 degrees. So again, this was his cold streak.
And by the
And
way, you can
before you,
congratulate me. I had a lone wolf on Miami in that game. How the
excellent.
heck did that happen? I don't know, but I did.
Good for you. Glad you were able to get that. Dolphins immediately go up 21-0 on the Jets.
Excuse me.
The Dolphins get the ball first. They run right down the field in 2 minutes and 14 seconds, score a touchdown, and it was aided by like a 50-yard Devon Achane run. You're like, oh boy, this is not a good sign at all. Jets get the ball on offense, quick 3-and-out, right back to the Dolphins. They march down the field, score again, and you're like, oh boy, it's 14-0. You're like, all right. Well, Jets, let's see what you have. Tyrod Taylor throws a pass that bounces off Mason Taylor's hands, the rookie tight end, goes right into a Dolphin's lap, and he catches it between his thighs, intercepted. I'm like, well, this seems like the type of game that it's going to be, and the Dolphins ended up running away. The only Jets touchdown they got, Lurch, I don't know. The Jets may have the greatest special teams unit in NFL history.
I saw it. What a return. What a great
Isaiah
return
Williams. Yeah, a 78-yard punt return to the house. That's his second punt return touchdown of the season. The Jets have 3 return touchdowns on the season. Their kickers missed 1 field goal all year. Their punter is among the best in every major statistical category. Their special teams gunners are all in the Pro Bowl conversation. Wow. It's been in, and shout out to Chris Banjo. This is the first time he's ever been a special teams coordinator in his life. And he looks like the hire of the century. So they suck on offense. They suck on defense, but special teams is like the greatest unit of all time. Literally any time Isaiah Williams or Kene Nguanu, who's the other returner, touch the football, they could take it back to the house. And they've had multiple 50, 60, 70-yard returns that did not score. They just got all the way close and then and got tackled, shoestring tackled. So that was the only touchdown. And shout out to Isaiah Williams because it's the second time the Jets and Dolphins played. When he played the Jets and Dolphins, when that game happened the first time on Monday Night Football, he fumbled the kickoff in the second half that led to a Dolphins touchdown. The Dolphins ended up winning by 6. And he also fair caught a ball at the 2-yard line like an idiot. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm sorry, I forgot where I was. And he got cut after that game. And the Jets, basically sat him out in timeout at his house for a week. No one picked him up. And then the Jets picked him back up and said, hey, hopefully you learned your lesson. And now he's become one of the most dynamic returners in football. So great story for the Jets. They get blown out, of course. But, that's basically the tale of the game. Their special teams was elite. Tyrod Taylor, of course, Mr. Made of Glass on the second drive of the game, hurt his groin. So undrafted free agent Brady Cook, the rookie quarterback, made his debut yesterday, and I saw Hep had a question about it earlier.
There were a couple of comments on Brady Cook. So how did he look? Because I was on Red Zone during the Jet game, so I was seeing just little pieces, but they weren't showing a lot of it because it was mostly the Dolphins scoring. So but I heard that Cook was in the game, and so I was like, oh, that ought to be interesting, So I'll get a look at it. This week for sure. I want to get a look at some of the things that I missed. I always go back. I was telling you, I want to go back and look at the all 22 for the Chiefs game last night because I was so bothered by where the heck is Rashee Rice in that game.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, weren't throwing the ball to him, so I want to see if he was locked down or what was going on there. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll answer a couple of these Brady Cook questions. I'll go to Old Yank from the beginning of our chat. I have to ask both of you, Brady Cook, I saw good promise with the kid given his situation. Playing the rest of the season, practicing with the ones could really progress him. Yeah, so a lot to unpack here. So Justin Fields last week tells the team, my knee's sore. I don't know if I can play. It's sort of weird, but they're like, all right. So they rule out Justin Fields. Brady Cook becomes the new QB2 to Tyrod. Of course, one injury away from getting on the field. Tyrod, of course, immediately gets hurt in this game. Brady Cook goes in. Brady Cook has had no reps at all. He's been with the team since May. That's when he signed after the draft as an undrafted free agent, but he's got no reps. Yeah. No, definitely not. Or the twos for that matter. And Brady Cook got an opportunity in this game. I'll tell you this, what I like about Brady. He was tough as nails. He got sacked 6 times. He got smacked a lot. The Jets offensive line did not play well in this game at all. He was tough. He was in an impossible scenario getting thrown out there. Obviously, he was not helped by drops. We were talking about drops earlier, Lurch, and Hep made a joke like, oh, we know about drops. The Jets had 6 drops, according to True Media yesterday. The Chiefs had 5 drops last night to give some context. But the Jets had 6 drops. That includes a walk-in touchdown. It was a great play design by Tanner Engstrand and a great throw by Brady Cook. Hit John Mechie III right in the hands. He would have just moonwalked backwards into the end zone. He drops it, and then the Jets end up trying to go for it, and then it all collapses and does nothing. So yeah, he got screwed by drops all over the place, which is unfortunate for the young man. 6 drops in the game. But yes, that's what I would say. AG, he had his press conference right before our live show here. He didn't give an injury report update on Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor for that matter. So we don't know if Brady Cook is going to be crowned the QB1. AG says his plan is to know that information by the time they start practicing. So whoever the quarterback is gets the full rep. So my anticipation is it's Brady Cook. The Jets were officially eliminated from the playoffs over the weekend. So pull out the Hulk walking away sad music. The 15th year in a row, they're missing the playoffs. And while that should be overly surprising, they were 3-9 and then they lose their 3-10. They're always going to miss the playoffs with that kind of record. But I think once that sort of happens officially, the spirit of playing a 36-year-old Tyrod Taylor versus a 24-year-old Brady Cook, I think now you're like, all right, let's see what the kid has. So I truly hope that they play him the rest of the way. His teammates seem to be really fired up about him. Josh Myers, Breece Hall, Isaiah Williams all had wonderful things to say about the kid. After the performance, he threw 2 terrible interceptions in the game, but he's a youngster, he's a rookie. Let's see what he has. So I'd love to see him the rest of the way. So Ol Yank and Hap and others that ask questions about him, you have nothing to lose now. And if you're the Jets, to be honest, if he goes in there and then you just lose games, that's not the end of the world, especially with draft position. So yeah, I liked what I saw from the young man. Nothing overwhelming. He made a lot of mistakes, but I hope he gets another shot this season and specifically as soon as this week.
Okay. Fair enough. Again, the Jets, like any team that's in their position, should do a certain level of experimenting down the stretch. You have nothing to lose.
Right.
But I don't think you should be pinning your hopes on Brady Cook being the next quarterback of the Jets.
Probably not. Yeah.
Could he if you could develop him into something that might resemble a good backup, that might be great. But yeah, I've said it for years and years and years. The backup quarterback, and in this case, the 3rd or 4th string quarterback, is always the favorite person of the fans, because when the others are failing, always what you turn to has to be better. But it's not always better. And as soon as it gets exposed and then gets on film and then, meets the rigors of other people looking at tendencies, suddenly those players just aren't great players and they get outed. And then essentially they become the mediocrity that they are. So, but it doesn't hurt anyone, for the Jets to develop a player like Brady Cook, because they're not going anywhere with Tyrod. And, Justin Fields, I don't know what the Jets are going to do with him next year. They got to pay him. That's one
cut
thing.
Him.
What are they doing? I suppose they're probably going to cut him. That would be probably the wise thing to do, is just move on. There's no reason
rip off the Band-Aid
to keep him in the building. It hurts financially, but you got to move on sometimes. And you just don't want situations where my knee's bothering me. I don't think I can
just
go to the coach. I know it's just.
I don't want to go conspiracy theory here, Lurch, and I normally don't dabble in these waters, but okay. Justin Fields gets benched ahead of the Ravens game. They go to Tyrod Taylor. Justin Fields reveals to the media that the team approached him after he was benched saying, hey, I know you're benched, but would you want to do like a wildcat thing where you have a set package of plays? Justin Fields told the media the same thing that he told the team. I have mixed feelings about it. I think I could get hurt coming in cold turkey, not being warmed up like the starter. Okay, you're getting paid $30 million guaranteed dollars. Didn't know we were asking you. I thought we were, we tell you to do it, you do it. So that's weird. And now all of a sudden he reports knee soreness, says, I'm not sure if I can go. I don't like to connect dots, but it sure sounds like he's just being a big baby about it. And if that's true, then okay, see ya. Don't let the door hit you or the good Lord split you. Yeah. See ya. I have got no problems with you. I'd rather you no longer be on the team. If that's the kind of energy we're going to be getting, I don't think that's good for the team.
All right, quickly, Monday Night Football, Chargers, Eagles, last NFL topic here today. What are your thoughts about this one tonight? Should it be a good game? Is it going to be a good game? Is this a low-scoring tussle here? What is this thing? It's in LA, by the way, at that beautiful SoFi.
First off, that kid to it saying, loving the LT jersey behind Manchild today, the powder blue. Let's go full screen there. It's a beautiful jersey. They have perhaps the most, I wish they would use those jerseys all the time. Those are the most beautiful jerseys in the National Football League. They're terrific. I also have an LT
didn't notice
jersey.
Either, Boy Green, if you go back full screen, what's above that LT jersey today?
Okay. Yes, it's the Eli Manning, David Tyree signed Super Bowl football. I see you put in there.
Right
beautiful.
there, baby.
Yeah, that's
I'll bring
nice.
that thing for an up close and personal in one of our videos
Great.
this week. All right,
That'd be great.
I'll have it in my hand, and I'll show it to you. But yeah, I replaced my normal Giants commemorative ball with the Eli. You can see Eli's signature very, very clearly there.
Yeah.
And just in the panel above it, is a really nice David Tyree signature. So I couldn't display both. So I gave you Eli. I could always
Yeah.
flip it to Tyree. He has
Beautiful
very
signature,
nice
though. He did
signature.
a very nice job of taking care. He didn't rush to sign this with 30 other people. Again, I had
That was great.
I had a guy inside the Giants building who made sure they took his time. So thankfully, and same thing for David Tyree,
Yeah,
which is
2
on the other
autographs,
side of that ball.
beautiful autographs, really, really complete, not rushed
Yes.
autographs, really, really nice. So, and done with one of those nice silver pens. So beautiful, beautiful. I'll show you that ball up close. You
Great.
know what it looks like because you stole it out of my house and
I did.
send it down
Yes.
to New Jersey to try and get those autographs for me, which you were able to do a couple of Christmases ago.
It
Talk
all worked
about
out.
those Christmas gifts that are up there. That one was very, very cool. So that ball will be in my possession till the end of time.
There you go. Good. All right. And I see the sign above. We'll get more into that later. Play like a champion today. We'll get into that in a bit.
Giving you a little Notre Dame homage there too. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. So no, I'm an LT fan myself. I've got a LaDainian Tomlinson Jets version before he retired. He played for the Jets, so I do love that jersey in the background. But no, to answer your question for tonight, what kind of Justin Herbert are we getting? By all accounts, apparently he's going to attempt to play with
Thank
multiple fractures here,
Gotta have him.
and you need him for picks. And other people obviously have dramatic fantasy implications for tonight's final regular season game for most people in their fantasy leagues of getting in there.
Right.
So I am fascinated to see how Herbert looks. Now, Rodgers, in his first game back with the fractured wrist, he looked awful against Buffalo, didn't look comfortable, but he looked a little bit more comfortable. He ripped that long ball, a 50-yarder to DK Metcalf down the right sideline, so he got more comfortable with it. I'm curious on Herbert. Are they able to get, we have technologies and everything available. I mean, they have all the resources on the planet to get something that's comfortable here for Herbert as he attempts to play through this with the hand surgery. But I am kind of curious how they perform. My gut says it's Eagles, although they have a lot of problems and all kinds of things coming off that Black Friday game the previous week and all that other jazz, and they lost again immediately a couple days later, or a couple days before that, to the Cowboys. I still am riding with the Eagles tonight. I believe the Eagles win. The Chargers not having both their tackles. Justin Herbert hurt.
That hurts a
It
bit.
just seems like a recipe for a disaster, quite frankly. And the Eagles defense.
Kind of what we were
has been
seeing in the
firing
Kansas
all
City
cylinders.
game last night. You got a good defense on one side, and then the offensive line is compromised. And then it got even more compromised in that game.
Yeah.
So the Chargers are in a similar situation. They're going to need some help out of their running game. Omarion Hampton is supposed to play tonight, so he should be back in the lineup. The rookie, who a lot of people were very high on this year. We'll see if he's even going to be limited or what he's going to do. They're going to have to get some running game, I think, to help Herbert here, at least to counteract what Philly could bring at him from a pass, a rush standpoint, because they have very good edge rushers, Philly. While the offense has been putrid for the Eagles, that defense is still really, really good. One of the best in the NFL. So the Chargers are going to have to play well. Herbert's going to have to play well, and they're going to have to get that running game going if they're going to compete in this game. The good thing is, at least it's at SoFi. So that's, a little more sterile environment, a little better, I think, for the Chargers liking than if this was in the cold of Philadelphia for sure. So.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll see what happens tonight. Again, my lean is Eagles, but the Eagles have drama. But again, the drama with the Chargers is both tackles out. Herbert hurt. I don't know. Omar and Hampton, that's another one we didn't talk about. He's expected to come off IR tonight to play.
Yep,
but how healthy is he coming back? So that's another wrinkle.
All right. And then, so I think we've covered the NFL well. And again, we'll be back with Dalton Wasserman on Wednesday, so we can dive back into a few of these things and get Dalton's take on many of the things that we talked about on the show today. But I do want to just jump a couple of other topics before we get out the door here. Notre Dame not in the college football playoff. So we are in a 12-team playoff these days in college football. We cover it just simply because we cover Syracuse football on our digital show here. But wow, what a shocker. Notre Dame lost head-to-head to Miami in a close game earlier in the year.
Week one.
In week one. Notre Dame has been on an incredible run since like week 3. They've run off a whole bunch of wins in a row.
10 in a row.
10 in a row. For all now, the new football playoff system, they have essentially a poll whatever you want to call it, a seeding system that comes out,
Rankings. Yeah.
and it starts at a certain time, starts kind of middle of the season, and then comes out a ranking. Thank you. A ranking that
every
comes out,
Tuesday.
and it comes out every Tuesday, and they run it from like whenever it starts, somewhere in the middle of the season to, right before they
all the way through
final picks. And
right.
throughout the entire season, Notre Dame was ranked in front of Miami.
Significantly.
Every ranking that they made. Notre Dame was there, Miami was below. Notre Dame was there, Miami was below. Whatever ebb and flow, they were consistently in front of Miami, despite the fact that Miami beat them in a close game in the very first week of the season.
Yep.
So one would believe that you get to the end of this thing. Miami, Notre Dame, by the way, had the week off, so they didn't even play. All right. So their record remains what it was. And Miami's is not playing either because they're not in the ACC championship game. That instead has been handed to Duke and Virginia. Like, what the heck? And Duke upsets Virginia, was actually a ranked team and having a very good season by Virginia football standards, and had their chance potentially to get into playoffs snuffed by Duke of all teams,
who was unranked.
Right. Duke only played basketball, to be honest with you, but no, they actually do have a football team. All right. Used to be that way, even when they had a football team that no one knew about it, but they have actually been a more credible program in the last couple of decades here. Anyway, long story short, I think the committee must have looked at this and said, the ACC has to get somebody in. Who are we going to let in? We don't want Duke. They weren't even ranked when they won this championship game of the league. Virginia chokes on the bone at the most important moment in their history, their recent history. All right. Well, Miami's, they're out there. So, okay, I guess I can live with the idea that you're going to give somebody from the ACC, one of the Power Four conferences, okay, a spot, one team. And that's the only team that got in, by the way, was Miami. But we're going to do that at the expense of Notre Dame, who's been ranked in front of Miami the entire season. The same committee, these same people sitting in rooms every week, coming up with this team is now over this team is now over this. And every time they said, nope, Notre Dame, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. And now they get to the final one and they go, we need that ACC representative. Who can we bump here? Oh, let's bump Notre Dame. And so Notre Dame gets bumped. And to what they call now Power of Five. That's
correct.
Leagues outside of the Power Four. Okay.
Correct.
Just keeping all this straight for you folks is the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12. Okay. Those are the Power Four. Okay. The Pac-12 is pretty much disbanded. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't
Many of the teams playing in those other leagues. All right. And so they call it a power. They have to do, I think the new rules are you have to have at least one Power of Five team in. So somebody has to get in from outside the Power Four, the Power of Five. Instead, they go with two teams. Toledo gets in and James Madison gets in. And so two Power of Five teams.
Instead of the ACC, right.
And, Miami gets in as the ACC lone guy.
But not as the ACC champion.
Not as the ACC champ, but again, as the lone bid from the ACC.
Yep.
Miami gets that because of all the chaos. All right. And Notre Dame gets bumped. And they are PO'd to say the least. And rightly so. I normally don't get on this bandwagon for Notre Dame. I don't think they need any help when it comes to public relations. But come on, this is a joke. I mean, how a committee could sit down week after week and rank them in front of another team and then make a decision. I'm going to assume that they're not saying that it was out of pity or out of, respect for the ACC. But come on, I mean, read between the lines here. I mean, read the tea leaves here. I mean, they felt the necessity to get an ACC team. Now, why they didn't bump James Madison or Toledo to keep Notre Dame in is really bewildering to me as well. So number one, why'd you give Miami the spot? And then if you do, well, then of course we're going to bump one of the little guys for big, bad Notre Dame. So not only does Notre Dame end up getting screwed and their fans get screwed big time after this incredible run that they've had on the back end of the season, as Boy Green said, 10 wins in a row, but they decide also we're not going to a bowl, period. So if you don't make the playoff, you can go to a regular bowl game. Notre Dame is so ticked that they're not going to any bowl game. So they will not even play in the postseason. So wow, and wow. That's all I could say.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Notre Dame totally got screwed. And here's my overall pieces about it. Okay, so let me just try to make sure I get this straight from the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. So BYU gets beaten by Texas Tech. That's the second time that Texas Tech has beaten BYU. The college football playoff committee No, BYU, you lost in the conference championship game. You are
Exactly.
penalized for that.
Conference championship, right? They lose,
Yeah.
right? So now
you lose.
you've blown it. We're eliminating you completely. BYU with the win is in for sure.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So, like, what's going on there? And they keep talking about how conference championships shouldn't count for all that much.
Correct. In a bad way.
I haven't even mentioned Alabama yet. We can get into Alabama, but go ahead.
Which is who I'm going to bring up myself.
Yep.
So,
okay. That's where you're going. Good.
Right. So again, BYU loses in their conference championship game. Texas Tech wins. Texas Tech is in, of course. BYU, you're out because you lost in the conference championship game. You got blown out, run out of the building. Okay. In my head, so conference championship results mean something. We go to Alabama. They get skull blanked by Georgia.
Yep.
And they stay in the same position. But you look at Alabama's schedule. So not only did they get blown out by Georgia, they barely scraped by Auburn, and they lost to Oklahoma. So if you look at the last month of action for Alabama, they had lost to Oklahoma. They smacked around Eastern Illinois. Congratulations. I didn't even know that college existed. And then they barely scraped by Auburn, and then they get blown out in the conference championship game against Georgia. Now, the BYU result would tell me that conference championship results mean something. But wait, it only meant something in that instance, but in this instance, it doesn't matter? That doesn't make any sense. So again, if you want to get Miami in, I was cool with Miami and Notre Dame being in. You wanted to put them both in, fine, but Alabama's out. They're the one that got absolutely destroyed against Georgia, and it didn't look close, and Ty Simpson looked like a mess. Notre Dame did everything they were supposed to do. Did they lose the first 2 games of the season by 4 total points? Yes. Against top 15 teams, they did. But then they won 10 straight in blowout fashion, and I was there for one of them against Syracuse, and they did everything in their power of what they were supposed to do. I think it doesn't make any sense. And then, and I think Notre Dame's right. They criticize this.
For a minute. Alabama should be out in favor of Notre Dame.
Correct.
One of the 2 little guys potentially should be out in favor of Notre Dame. And I'd
just
argue, if you're gonna buy what the committee was selling all season, that Miami shouldn't be in favor of Notre Dame. So Notre Dame could have gotten one of 3 spots and didn't get any of them. Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just real quick on the 2 little guys. I'll make sure I get this right so I don't misspread information.
Mm-hmm.
I believe those guys had to be in, or the ACC champion was one of the others, because it's the highest ranked conference champions of the group. So I believe Notre Dame couldn't have taken one of the 2 spots out of fairness.
Yes.
So it would have been the 2 little guys, or the ACC represented, which I guess would have been Duke, but they chose the little guys over Duke, which I don't blame them for, because Duke was an unranked.
So that was a pick over ACC champion versus Power of 5.
Correct. So Notre Dame wasn't fighting for that spot. That's my only point of bringing that up.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
So again, but I think ultimately it was Alabama, Notre Dame, Miami, all battling it out for 2 spots. That's
the fact that we have to spend 20 minutes trying to explain this, people, is the reason
that's
why
also
is awful.
It's
why the season is off. And then again, anytime we put it just strictly in the hands of a committee of some sort, and we see this in the NCAA tournament every year, there's just going to be humanness that creeps into this, So Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff. They have a 3-loss team, and they just got creamed. They just got creamed in the championship game. So come on, they don't deserve to be in. This is the year.
A 3-loss team, by the way,
phenomenal, but they don't deserve to be in my opinion, this year. But maybe there just are too many spots with everybody that's lost. I don't know. Maybe that somehow gets Alabama back in there, but I don't. Just a look test and the season that they've had based on their own standards, frankly, Alabama to me shouldn't be in. But there are other teams that don't deserve to be in too. So I'm not just picking on Alabama.
Sure, but I would choose to pick up on Alabama. But they're the first 3-loss team that's ever made the college football playoff. Right. That never happened before until this year, where it happened. So that part to me was weird. Just real quick on this, because you also brought it up, but like a lot of fans are criticizing it. So Notre Dame doesn't make the college football playoff. They're now extended a bowl game. Hey, do you want to play BYU in the whogivesableep.com bowl? Notre Dame goes like, no, we're good. And a lot of people have said, Notre Dame, way to send a message to the student athletes that you're not going to play ball. If I'm Notre Dame, I don't play in this random bowl either. So you're telling me you slap me on the nose college football playoffs and sorry, Notre Dame. I know that the entire time we said you were better than Miami, and then we switched it for no reason at the end, but it is what it is. Play in our other bowl so we can market it and make a lot of money off of it. If I'm Notre Dame, like, screw you. If you played around with me, that's what I think is a big problem here, is we do these weekly shows. As you mentioned on Tuesdays, these college football playoff reveal shows. Hey, here's who's ranked here. Makes ESPN a lot of money. Everyone pays attention to it. There's plenty of shows like ours that do reactions to whatever happens on that college football playoff ranking show. But by doing that as an official show, you indicate that those rankings mean something on a week-to-week basis as they change or stay the same. Notre Dame was consistently ranked ahead of Miami the entire time. And then weirdly, which must have been the red flag, right? 2 weeks ago, Alabama jumps in front of Notre Dame for no reason. Nothing happens. So they just flip them. And you're like, why'd they flip them? That's weird. Does that mean Notre Dame's in danger? Oh, I guess that's something to put in the back of the pile moving forward for later. So it's just awful. It's terrible. Now, Notre Dame is protected in the future if they're ever, according to the agreement apparently Notre Dame made with the College Football Playoff Committee and expansion, everything moving forward. If Notre Dame is a top 12 ranked team, which they were before all this nonsense, they automatically got a playoff berth. It doesn't matter, so they can't be screwed again in the future. If it expands to 16, if they're a top 13 team, they're protected. They're automatically in. That's built into the language moving, not this season, obviously. It's 2026 moving forward that they would be protected. So it's good to know for Notre Dame. They're going to be an independent. Stop trying to force them into a conference where they have to split the revenue. They have a beautiful amount of money, a beautiful lucrative deal with NBC. That Notre Dame's a brand, and I know a lot of people hate it because there's Notre Dame and UConn as the only independents, but when you're Notre Dame, you can do whatever the hell you want. I know that pisses a lot of people off in the universe, and they get to do their own thing, and it's been wildly successful, and they're not changing it anytime soon. So yeah, Notre Dame got screwed, and it's incredibly unfortunate that they did this because, we went through the entire thing about conference championships meaning something. Wait, they don't mean something. Just a lot of inconsistency from the committee.
And by the way, I was just looking at Big Al, our one of our fantasy players, a longtime participant in our show, just popped me a little DM with a graphic.
Yeah.
There are 10 teams in this graphic that declined a bowl bid. So not only has Notre Dame declined playing in a bowl bid, Penn State has, Iowa State has, Rutgers has, Florida State, Baylor, Texas Tech, Auburn, Central Florida, and Kansas all have said, yeah, we'll just go have Christmas now. What the heck?
Hey,
I mean, college football is in a bad state when you get 10 prime teams. Those are some big name teams there.
Sure.
10 teams across the country to go, instead of, the warm sunny climes of somewhere and go play another football game and have more practices and get, help get us ready for next season. No, we'll just pack it in and go home.
Well, that's the line, right? So for the teams that are at the top of the pile, the top of the food chart, right? They're playing the college football play 100%. And they're playing for the national championship. If they're just on the outside looking in, why play in a random bowl? What the hell does that do for me? I'm whatever your big name school is. You go to the bottom of the pile, right? And with all due respect, the Syracuse of the world, I think it's very Camping World Bowl. I think that's very helpful for what Syracuse is to have the practice time and all that other stuff and things of that nature. But it is the haves and have-nots. The top ones don't care about that. They only care about the national championship, and that's what they should be competing for. The other schools care about those bowls, and then the ones in the middle that just miss out are not going to want to compete, and I'm not surprised. Now, some of the ones you said, obviously, have had coaching changes, right? Iowa State just lost Matt Campbell, who just went to Penn State. So, and we have the NIL windows and the transfer portal windows. So that Syracuse struggled with that in their recent bowl game that they were at. What was that? So it was last year with Fran Brown, where all these players are leaving just as they're coming in. The college football playoff, Penn State got screwed because Drew Aller's backup quarterback happened to leave right in the middle of it, but that's when the time is. So I hope they fix a lot of these issues because like the Lane Kiffin drama, we talked about that last week and forcing people to make decisions. It's bad for the players, bad for the team. We need an adult in the room to stand up and fix this because college football is broken.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. We're not going to be able to talk about it in any kind of depth, but the World Cup draw was yesterday, Boy Green. Soccer, baby. And it'll be in the Americas. It'll be Canada, the United States, and Mexico hosting all of these with the championship, by the way. The trophy to be given away, at MetLife. The championship is at MetLife, So where the Giants and the Jets play is where the penultimate game for the World Cup will be played next year. So kudos, baby. The World Cup is on. Team USA is in. Got a pretty favorable draw in their little bracket. So, maybe we'll get a soccer guy. We love every once in a while we bring a soccer guy on. We'll get somebody with a British accent, get us talking about soccer and football, European football, as they call it.
Are you going to go to one of those games, Lurch? You and your son? You're going to go to one of those?
My son would love it. He is a big soccer guy. My son loves soccer. He watches the European leagues. He's into soccer. So he had told me a month or two ago that he was looking around because many of the events are going to be in the New York area. They're all over the country, and like I said, some in Mexico, some in Canada as well. But there are obviously going to be games in the New York metro area. And he said that tickets were insane, like
Wow.
crazy money. So we may get priced out. We'll see. But that would be a great one. I want to give
Sure.
somebody he's already getting gifts from me, so he wouldn't be my surprise person, but that'd be the penultimate. Get my son.
Oh, yeah. You just dropped that on it. Wow.
World Cup final tickets. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, my God.
I guess if I was a crazy rich guy, I might do that.
Sure.
But no, that's probably not in the cards, but it's okay. We'll go catch the Knicks. We'll catch the Knicks on a Tuesday night or something.
Yeah, see, nothing wrong with that.
We'll catch Knicks Hornets on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's it, baby. Just as good.
And get tickets, right before the game starts for 40 ducats a piece or something.
Yeah, there you go. Reasonable. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's a World Cup. And then what was it? Something else was on my mind. What the heck was it? Oh my goodness. Went right out of my head, Boy Green. Okay, so we got that game tonight. We touched on fantasy football.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
We took care of that. Oh, I can't remember what my last item was. Oh, man. Oh, I wanted to just whip through the comments. So let's just go through comments because so many people were bouncing in there. And I know there were some things that we talked about earlier that people were commenting while we were talking about them, but I do think it's worth it to go back and give people kudos for getting in the comments. So let's just start at the top of the list and work our way down. All right, I'll grab the first one, Boy Green. Randomly, you pick the ones that stick out to you. All right out the top, we were talking about Jamie, the FedEx guy, and his big matchup in the Champs League final matchup to be decided, the final playoff spot to be decided. And Jamie says the following, Jamie, the FedEx guy. He says, guys, I'm happy with the 7th place finish after being 2-6, one spot from drafting CMC, and stick to my lineup. No waffling is what I learned this year. Costed me 3 wins. Okay, so he is one of those changes at the last minute kind of guys.
Yeah,
Jamie,
he did.
He's done it again. Even when he's not doing it, he's doing it. So now he's got himself out of the playoffs. When at the moment he still could be in. It's like Jamie, listen to me, man. Go see a psychiatrist or something. I don't think I can help you anymore. All right, it's beyond my pay grade. Okay, here's my advice to you, my friend. Okay, stop overthinking everything. Okay. Right now, you're still in. You should be living in a world of optimism and rooting the heck against Brian Drake's players tonight. That's what you should be doing. You're rooting for the Eagles to have a lousy game, Arondé Gadsden to to not play well, and yada yada yada. The game script to completely go your way because you could be in and you could win the whole darn thing. So you're not happy with 7th yet. Be happy with 7th when you land in 7th. Right now, you could land in 6th, which would be a very valuable position. So.
Yeah. First off, again, if he is really happy with that comment that he just highlighted, 7th place is a loser mentality. I would never be happy with 7th. The first spot out of the playoffs, absolutely not. I would not be pleased with that whatsoever. And again, Jamie did not learn any lesson. Oh boy, I just got to make sure that I don't do this, and I'll be just fine. It cost me 3 wins this year. You didn't learn it.
Then he goes and insults the two of us in his next comment by saying, Jabber or Al is winning the title this year. That means me and you are not, Boy Green. I happen to be the 1 seed. You happen to be the 3 seed. Al is the 2 seed. Jabber will probably be the 5 or the 6 seed. So depending on how it all shakes out. So, oh my goodness. Okay, now more insults. He's throwing insults at us now after all that. Yes, you're right, Jamie. The Bears did blow it. Okay, there you go. All right, we'll give you some kudos for getting something right today. All right, Boy Green, you jump into a few comments.
Yeah, I agree with old Yank. Hike the like, you filthy animals. Make sure you guys hit that like button, baby, here on the program. That is a free way to contribute to the Manchild Show, Boy Green Digital. When you guys like the video, that gets the show organically in front of other people. Again, we are 12 subscribers away from 400 subscribers, but we're doing a wonderful job. Lurch mentioned we reached 150,000 views on the channel, which is an amazing accomplishment. But to just organically have this show pop up in front of other people, it's when you guys like the video. It's part of the YouTube algorithm. You need a whole nother lesson on that. So liking the video, it should become a new part of your routine as you guys head in to watch any of our shows. Just hit that like button. It makes a tremendous difference.
Okay, very good. Who else is out there? Hep was in the crowd today.
Yeah. Shout out to
always
Hep.
does his hey fellers.
I see Jamie's already back.
Tell me the origin of that. Why does Hep use the word fellers? He always says that. Hey, fellers.
Yeah, I opened up the phone lines once, and again, Hep for a while, his camera didn't work, so it was just a voice that would call into the show, and I bring him up, and he says, my camera's not working. And I'm like, all right, no problem. So let's talk about whatever. Yeah. And then eventually he got his camera to work, and now there was just his introduction as, hey, what's going on? Who are you, Hep? John Hepburn. I just call him Hep. I'm like, hey, what's up, Hep? And then he would just go, hey, fellers. And that was just his go-to
Okay.
introduction. And so
It's a
now
local. It's a local thing. Where's Hep from? Where's he from again?
Yeah. He
I
is
met
a
him
New
at the
York guy.
tailgate. So, he's
Yes,
from New
I
York.
believe he is a New York guy. So it's a
City or
colloquialism.
upstate, or do you know where?
That's a good question. I don't
Not
know
sure.
to that level.
Hep, we need to know where you live. All right, tell
that
us
is
address
true.
and everything. No, don't
Yeah.
give us your address.
Yeah, 100%. Organ
General
donor,
area.
security, social security number would be great too.
And don't say upstate, because that means completely different things to different people.
To different people. That's a good point. I will tell you that the one, and again, we'll see if Lurch comes back, if he wants to do it again. But, the only problem with hosting one of these big events and having 60 plus Jet fans and food and DJ, and Luby told me he wants to come back again, so that's awesome. It's just that there's not enough one-on-one time. There's just so much going on. I wanted to spend more one-on-one time with Hep and his beautiful wife, or with this person or this person or this person. It was just too much getting pulled in a million directions. So I'm going to try to do a better job of, sort of breaking up my time so I could spend more time with more people. So maybe I would have known more about that Hep origin story. That would be that'd be great.
Okay.
What was that one for Jamie? Right. So Jamie already said, well, I guess I got the 7 seed, and that's what it is. And he's like, I got a small chance to leapfrog Japper in total points. So, he's all over the place. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, he can't settle. He
can't help himself.
Man, just wait it out, man. Nothing's happening. Just root tonight. That's all you need to do. All right. Be a nice big tall glass of wine for Jamie tonight.
Look at that. More insults. Manchild, your team stinks. I cost a boy agree to buy. That is true. I did miss the buy by just points this week, but obviously a win would have secured it as well. So, hey, I've got no one to blame. You know what? That's fine. Manchild needs a bye week. He needs to escape the action. I'm willing to wear the war paint and go to battle, Balake. So I'm willing to fight through it this week. Yes. Gosh. And I do want to give a shout out, because I know, Lurch, we do all these bits where I'm like, oh, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I throw this up and say, here it is. We're only 12 away or whatever. But I do want to say that obviously we appreciate.
Mel Kiper, I'm only 12 away.
I could probably.
Mel Kiper kind of thing going.
I know I can sort of work it in where you're like, tat, and then just here. And we'll need that for the draft coverage we'll be doing this year, especially with our Giants and Jets both being inside the top 7.
Yeah, we'll be doing big time draft coverage for sure.
But the thing I will want to give a shout out to is the people that are already subscribed right now, and it means the world. So Hep out there, who's already subscribed, he's one of the cool kids, and everyone else, you are eligible for every giveaway from now to the end of time, as long as you remain a subscriber on the channel. And obviously, Manchild has said this before, we'd be nowhere without you guys. So I know we're always looking for the next subscriber, but we always appreciate the OGs that have been there since day one. So Hep and everyone else, Old Yank and Big Al and everyone else who is a subscriber here on the channel, and Phil Larmer, we have not forgotten about you. We have not forgotten about you.
And Hep, curious about how far we're apart. Hep, we need to know where you are, but
That's
how far are we apart? Paul and I are not far apart. Paul and I are about
45 minutes.
Driving car distance about 45 minutes.
Yeah, give or take.
But yeah, I mean, remember we were working in the same radio studio for a long
time.
So yeah. So Paul had a longer drive than me. I was only about 15 minutes from the studio. Paul was, about 45 to 50 minutes, probably a little.
Yeah,
more.
Brent.
Yeah.
So Lurch, this is an important follow-up question here. So because we've done this radio show for a million years, we did these Christmas parties, for lack of a better word, at the radio station where we did these exchanging of gifts and all this other stuff. This year you're going out. Are we doing something, or we put it on hiatus? What the hell are we doing?
Well, maybe we'll do some kind of Christmas show. I don't know if we're going to be able to do
I think that's good.
Year. I mean, we should still have a celebratory Christmas show.
I think for sure. I think that's the whatever the word is, the compromise. I think we should have some festive Christmas show for sure.
Yeah, we got to do something festive. So we used to have the interns come in and
get
the interns gifts and
Christmas rejoins,
all that stuff. We had Christmas bumps and rejoins, right? Stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Phil, no, you don't have to have a real Christmas tree. It's an absolute.
Phil's on the real tree bandwagon. There he is.
Stop.
You're against it. What's up? No, don't beat on Phil.
Stop pushing that narrative.
Stop
pushing that narrative, Phil.
It's the real deal.
It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And then what do you do? You throw the tree out in the yard? Come on, for God's sakes, just have the fake tree. Have the fake tree. It's better. It's just better.
What is Hep saying here? So I'm trying to follow this. So he says, do you know why we bring trees in the house at Christmas?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Definitely some kind of probably historical, why did we start doing that? The whole tradition.
But traditions were meant to die. So let's get rid of it. My fiance.
Look at her jumping in. You were making that. Yeah, just buy a spray can or something. She says, you can't buy the smell That's a lie. I'm with
We
you. Tom.
literally have on our tree.
Can't
It's
buy
like
it.
I don't know what it is. It's a little green stick, and it looks like an ornament, but
get it? Yeah.
it emotes the smell of whatever a Christmas tree is supposed to smell
Like
like.
getting a new
You
car
can
in your car when you hang it from
100%
the rearview mirror.
air freshener. Get the little Christmas tree on your tree. I'm sure that would do the same thing. 100%. Get the hell
It's
out of
not
here.
the same.
No.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
All right. Hep says I'm in NY. Well, in NY, that's like it's a giant.
That's sort of
state.
yeah. We need a
Long
little bit more.
Island, are you
Yeah.
Queens? Are you Brooklyn in the house? Are
Yeah.
you Westchester County? Where the heck are you? I mean, that's
Yeah.
I'm in NY. That's
Yeah.
see Manhattan.
I see Hep is referencing the officiating. He says this year it's off the hook. In the Jets-Dolphins game, there was a moment in the game where it appeared that Tua threw a backwards pass. It looked very clear by a half yard they threw a backwards pass, which the Jets scooped up for a touchdown. But apparently the refs called the play dead. This is why I like what you said earlier, Lurch. We're talking about call stands, call confirmed, and all this other stuff about the Isaiah Likely play. Ref, swallow the whistle. Let it all play out. And then you could go back and you can post edit if something was egregiously wrong. When you blow a ball dead, it doesn't matter what happens after that. You've ruined the play. So even if you're wrong, you're like, crap, we can't reverse that now. So in that play, the Jets could have had a touchdown or the ball, and then it totally reversed that situation. So, yeah, that is unfortunate.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I love the comeback too. We might need computers to make the calls from now on. Yep. Well, if we can only get there in baseball, maybe we can get there in some other sports as well. I don't know.
Hep says again, if the Giants have the number 1 pick, are they drafting Mendoza? Are they replacing the quarterback?
No. The Giants get the number 1 pick. They're probably trading the number 1 pick.
That makes sense.
Let's get some assets, baby. That sounds really good to me. Really good to me. No, I think the Giants are in on Jackson Dart now, and they're not going to do what what the Cleveland Browns did and have 2 young quarterbacks on your roster. That's never a good idea, unless something crazy happened to Dart, the back end of the season, which could happen the way that guy plays football.
I guess that's true. All right, let's finish off with a couple more. I have fantasy advice. So Philly Noodles chimes in. Thank you, Philly, for chiming in. I left Blake Corum 26 points on the bench. To me, I will beat myself. Again, I'm human. I'll beat myself up over fantasy decisions that were close. I was like, this quarterback or this quarterback. Lurch told me one off air of one decision he wished he would have made on this and this. When it was close and it goes one way, sure, you can beat yourself up about it.
Right.
If you clearly were not going to make the decision and then the decision was wrong, I don't beat myself up about it. Philly Noodles, I don't know your roster, but playing Blake Corum and getting 26 points was probably someone you were never going to play. And the fact that those points died on your bench, hey, that's fantasy, man. That's going to happen. Because, of course, everyone's playing Kyron Williams, who played in this game. If Kyron Williams didn't play, okay, then you can make fun of yourself or whatever for the Blake Corum points. But fantasy people, don't beat yourself up over decisions you would have never made. Like, you see this crazy guy you wouldn't have expected to go off on your bench. You're like, I should have played him. Should you have? Maybe not. You would have just gotten lucky if you did the other way. So I think that's important there. And we could go back to Philly Noodles here. I appreciate the YouTube super chat coming through here. This is awesome.
There you go.
Thank you, Philly Noodles. Appreciate that. Again, as soon as we reach 500 subscribers on our Manchild Show channel, these super chats and things can be accepted on this channel. So appreciate that on the Boy Green channel. He's a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Sign Marcus. Let me make sure I pronounce this correctly because that's Sunday Night Football. So we all say Mariota, but it's Mariota. Mariota is apparently how you're supposed to pronounce it. So.
Sure?
Yeah, that just happened. So I was watching the Sunday Night Football game. It was a week ago. I think it was Commanders Broncos. And so I thought I'm listening to the game and I'm like, wow, Collinsworth and Tariq are really going out of their way to say this bizarre pronunciation of what I thought was Marcus Mariota. But like they kept saying Marcus Mariota. And I'm like, what are they doing? And then after the game, Marcus gets asked, hey, the broadcasters were saying this weird friggin' pronunciation of your name. Can you clear that up? He says, yes, I cleared it up with them. Everyone has been saying it wrong my entire 10-year career and saying Mariota. It's not, it's Mariota. And they went, oh. So, but I hate the quarterbacks. Why did you say that at the beginning of your career? So we all could have been right. And then now,
star in college, they were saying Mariota
in 2015.
He was a high draft pick. His name was Mariota.
He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Like what the
crying out loud? Yeah, winning the Heisman Marcus Mariota, and he goes up there and doesn't say a word. Oh, thank you.
And
thank
now,
you.
10 years later, again, that's
Come
very strange.
on, this is this revisionist history stuff with people and their names it's one of those things that absolutely drives me crazy. Because listen, we as sports fans, and in particular, if you want to take Colin's work and Tarico, these people and us as fans, pride ourselves in getting names right. There's a lot of names in sports. My wife says to me all the time, "How the heck do you know who that is?" I remember I told you the Josh Allen story with her. Right?
Yeah, right.
Josh Allen was on a show that we were both watching, the new Jimmy Fallon entrepreneur show.
Yes.
And
the
she's
branding
like,
show. Yeah.
"Who's that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Josh Allen, the football player."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, who does he play for?" I was like, "The Bills." He's
He's
the
their
MVP
quarterback
of the league last year. He's kind of a big deal and has been for at least 5+ years. You don't know, honey? Like, we live pretty close. Buffalo's only 2 hours up the road. I talk sports every day. How do you not know this? Right? I was just beside myself, like, honey, But so we pride ourselves in knowing these guys' names and getting names right and so on and so forth. This is our job, and I think a lot of times, even as fans, we want to get stuff right. We want to say the names right. We don't want to look like a fool. And then we have this guy who lets his name sit out there for 10+
a decade.
Years, probably 15. It's all said and done. You include
college and everything.
And now he's going to come to the table and say, for 15 years, you guys have been blowing it. My name is Mariota.
Right. Well, it's also Travis and Jason, right?
Did he just head in the jungle and drink some ayahuasca? Is that what happened to Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, apparently.
Mariota, by the way. Too bad.
Yeah.
Too bad, man. Not doing it. Remember the this is a great little story, and I can't remember his name right now. Oh, my God. Oh, yes, I will. I think I do remember his name.
Okay.
Remember the Syracuse basketball player?
Oh, yes.
Kristaps Ongenate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The weirdest, like you were like right from the get-go, like, oh my goodness, there's a lot of vowels in there, and this could be a lot of things. And I told you, I said, all right, we were covering Syracuse basketball very, very heavily at that time of our lives, on the radio. I went to interviews. I requested him, and I asked him, could you do me a favor? Can you pronounce your name properly into the microphones for me so that I can make sure that I'm saying your name right? Because you have a very difficult last name. So I'm just can you just tell me your full name, your first name, and your last name? How do you say it? Yeah. And he goes, Kristaps Ongenate. Okay, literally that exactly. Okay, got it. For Kristaps Ongenate. All right, however he said it. All right, I think he's like from Croatia or something, right?
Okay.
So I come back that day and I say, Paul, I got it. I went and talked to Ongenate. I went and talked to Kristaps, and I got his name pronunciation. And so we start pronouncing his name that way. I'm listening to Syracuse basketball game, like, I don't know, a few months later, and the play-by-play game, that guy is calling his name a completely different way. I'm like, where did this pronunciation come from? I thought I had this. I asked the guy. I'm sticking to my thing, right? I go back to the guy, go back to the source. And I said, they've been saying your name this way. No, it's this. He changes the pronunciation of his own name. I was like, dude, what the bleep? Are you kidding me? Like, I went to you and asked you how to say your name, and now you're telling me what you originally told me is not the same? I mean, this is like personal preference sometimes. It's goofy. Listen, man, I'm not going down that road. He's Marcus Mariota for the end of time for me, and I don't give a crap. I am not turning into Mike Tirico here and Mariota-ing my life up. That is insanity, boy green.
Right, absolutely, which is crazy. And again, it caught a lot of people off guard because you're watching Sunday Night Football.
Too late.
Yeah, right. And Marcus had been playing for 10 years. So, you're like, wow, that's very strange. A guy 10 years in now, you're pronouncing this name weird. So, anywho, Mariota here for Philly Noodles. He's saying for the Jets, sign Mariota, draft Fernando Mendoza at cost or a small trade up, and what's his player comp. So first off, the overall plan, I don't mind. Marcus is a fine veteran quarterback. I think he's a little healthier track record than Tyrod, so I'm fine switching those out. Fernando Mendoza, I fell in love with over the weekend. I've seen him. That's probably the fourth game I've seen him so far this season, and he just, again, sort of has this moxie, this it factor at the ends of games. He just finds a way to make the right play at the right time. And he sort of has this winner thing about him. And Indiana's undefeated. And I can't wait to see him in the college football playoff and stuff. So that to me is exciting. The player comp that I've heard from other people about him is he is basically a souped up version of Jared Goff. And a lot of people have taken that as an insult. But Jared Goff has been a really good quarterback for a long time. He's gone to a Super Bowl before, and he was the league leader in completion percentage for most of the season, but now he's second. Like, Jared Goff is really good. So I know everyone wants where's the next Patrick Mahomes? Where's the next Joe Montana? Where's the next insert your Hall of Fame quarterback? But Jared Goff, as the comp that I've heard, okay, a souped up version of Jared Goff sounds pretty good to me. So that's a player comp I'm hearing. Player comps are impossible because everyone, of course, is their own individual basis. We love player comps because it's sort of a sexy thing to bring up. But no, this draft quarterback plan I like. I don't mind trading up. So again, if the Giants want to strike a deal or the Jets are able to get there themselves, terrific. Again, no one knows. Oh, okay, let me start this. Lurch, in what was the year? Let me make sure I get this right. In 2018, the Buffalo Bills traded up for Josh Allen. He's the Bills quarterback. That's the MVP, just in case you didn't know or your wife didn't know. Josh Allen, again, Bills MVP. Do you remember what they gave up to trade up for Josh Allen?
I was around during it, so I should know this. I don't remember.
But of course you don't. Who cares? He's the MVP. It doesn't matter if you're right. The trade price doesn't matter. Right. You probably could have gotten it, and it worked out for the Bills because they did all these funky things to get there. But of course no one remembers because you get it right. If you get it right, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying Giants or whoever is the number one pick, the Jets say, here's 5 first-round picks. I'm not saying give up everything, but if you could give up something to guarantee you get your guy, if you think that's the guy, then it's an obvious move to make if you're the Jets. I don't care where the Jets are, but they have other needs. Until you get a quarterback, you're spinning your wheels. You're swimming in circles. You need a quarterback. So again, from this perspective, I like the plan. The plan's good. I'd want a veteran bridge in there no matter what they do at quarterback in terms of a rookie. So yes, I would like to do it.
Yeah, Big Al jumped in and he says, I remember all the Bills fans booing the pick. I remember that as well. Just like Donovan McNabb got booed. I was
just going to bring that up. Yes.
And they wanted Ricky Williams instead of Donovan McNabb, and they were chanting Ricky, Ricky. This was the Philly fans in the building.
Yeah.
All right. And they booed Donovan McNabb, and of course he turned out to be a pretty good quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
So, okay, you bring up that with McNabb and Ricky Williams. That's who they were chanting for. Do you remember the player Bills fans wanted instead of Josh Allen? Do you remember, Lurch?
No. You know me with years and drafts.
Yeah, right. So I'll let you guys know.
Not my forte. Who was it?
Josh Rosen is the
yes, I do remember that.
Because when Roger Goodell came up to the podium, right? Roger Goodell comes up to the podium with the 7th overall pick. The Buffalo Bills have traded up. They've traded up for Josh, and then everyone's like, huh? Allen, and oh no, oh god, Josh Allen of and on draft night that thing came out about Josh Allen with the racist comments from the past, so like that made it even worse, and that the people wanted Josh Rosen. So again, that just goes to show you, right? That's why the fans aren't making the picks. The teams are making the picks.
Right.
And so Josh Rosen flamed out of the league very quickly, and it was a disaster. But yes, they wanted Josh Rosen. We had Jordan McGee. It was me, you, and Jordan McGee all at your house, and we're all there for that draft. Giants had a top pick, Jets had a top pick, Bills had a top pick. And Jordan was on the ground like, no, damn it, I wanted Josh Rosen. And they got Josh Allen, and now look at it. Josh Allen is, of course, the rating MVP. So you never know. Long story short.
Yeah, so, they wanted the UCLA kid. That's Josh Rosen. He didn't have much of a career. They didn't want to touch the kid from Wyoming. That's Josh Allen, and man, was that ever the correct pick for the Buffalo Bills. Not only was it a great pick for the Bills in terms of what he's turned into, but Josh Allen fits the city of Buffalo so well. Like, it's just a beautiful marriage. There's just great love, and it's not just because he's a great player. He kind of fits the image of the city. So
I agree.
That's been a match made in heaven. I wouldn't want Josh Allen to be anywhere else, and that even includes my Giants. I mean, that guy belongs in Buffalo. That's just the fit. That is a great fit for a great quarterback. That is a really, really good fit. All right, as they say, that's all she wrote. Man, it's been a long one today, but
for sure.
We had a lot to chew on today, a lot of different topics. I hope you all got a lot out of that. And if you missed any of the video, then you can just jump back in as soon as we're done. We post it right up on our YouTube channel, and you could go take a look at it. If you're watching on social, it also gets posted on our social media channels as well. So fantastic stuff, as always. Boy Green, I'll leave it to you. Final thoughts, if you have any, my friend here.
And just this, Lurch, let's give it another plug. Again, we're 12 subscribers away right now live. What happens when we reach 400 subscribers, Lurch?
All right, 400 is the Mercer ball. All right, I got it right here. Beautiful Bobby Mercer autographed baseball. All right. I was down in the I told you I was getting up all the Christmas stuff, right? I decorated
Yeah, right.
Christmas stuff. Yankee Bobby Mercer autographed baseball. I had that autographed right in front of me. Met Bobby, had a nice conversation with him, even though I'm a Mets fan. But Bobby Mercer was he was very much part of my childhood because I grew up with Nicky Lamangino and some of my other buddies, and they were Yankee fans. Many of them were Yankee fans. We had about half split. And when we used to play like stickball in the streets of Queens, you'd make believe you were certain players. And back then I was, some of the old Met players, was Ron Swoboda and Tommy Agee and Cleon Jones and some of those legendary Don Clendenin, some of the legendary Met players. And Bobby Mercer was very popular among the Yankee guys. They'd be like, all right, Bobby Mercer at the plate with 2 men on and 2 outs here in the 9th, chance to win the ball game. So Bobby Mercer was a very, very popular Yankee and a heck of a nice guy. There's an old picture of him, but he was a heck of a nice guy.
So again, we're giving away an autographed baseball. We're 12 subscribers away. Once we reach that, once we reach 400, which is 12 subscribers away, which is free to do. Again, that's that link on your screen, youtube.com/MCShowDigital. We're giving away that Bobby Mercer ball for free to one of our subscribers. If you live local, we'll hand it to you in person. If you live far away, we'll ship it to you. So again, that is free to do. Go ahead, Lurch, up next.
And then here's the golf club. All right, so this is the Hybor XL Cleveland golf club with the beautiful head cover still right on it, courtesy of our friends at
giveaway.
Sports. All right, this will go out the door when we get to 500 subscribers, so we got a little bit of work to get there, but why can't we get there a lot quicker? Never been used, beautiful Golf Pride grip, gorgeous, just sitting here in my bedroom waiting for somebody to take it home, take it out to the links and hit it. So you can get that once we get to 500 subscribers. All you have to do is subscribe to be in it. It's literally a lottery system. One of the first 400 is going to get the Mercer ball. One of the first 500 is going to get the golf club. And like I said, I was down again, emptying out, some stuff from the basement and so on and so forth. So I found some stuff down there, BG. So I got a bunch of possibilities as we creep our way towards 500. I got some other cool little things that I'm willing to part with. I mentioned that crazy Dan Aykroyd
so cool
harmonica. I mean, I got to give that away to somebody who loves music and loves the Blues Brothers or something. So I got that Dan Aykroyd autographed harmonica, very unusual, in a case, never used, gorgeous. Fantastic authenticated item. But I found some other cool sports things down there too. Some things that would be very appealing to Syracuse sports fans and New York sports fans as a whole. So yeah, we'll continue with the giveaways. That'll be something that we'll be doing forevermore, not just as an incentive to try and drive up our subscribership. But listen, if you have any friends, you have any family members, you have other people that love sports, especially New York sports, or love the TV show Survivor, these are the people you want to point in our direction and say, go subscribe to their channel. They do a lot of really cool content. And again, just watch what you like. You're not a Giants guy. You don't want to hear me going on and on about the Giants. So watch all the things in our Jets channel. Watch all the things in our Bills portal. Watch all the things in our Survivor playlist. So
all playlists
for every one of those items. All right. And we'll continue to create playlists. We're going to start talking some NBA as NBA season gets going. Sean Devaney, who's a very, very well-versed writer for all things NBA, has joined us for years and years on the radio. He's going to be back. He was there for the very end of basketball season when we first launched this channel at the very, very end, before we earnestly became a completely digital product. But Sean will be back with us in the upcoming weeks. We've got some other cool basketball insiders that we may turn to from time to time. And of course, we're going to start mixing our Syracuse basketball coverage into the mix as well. Do we know if we have Neil yet this week? I know we're working on Neil.
That one is not locked in yet officially, but that is the plan. Yep.
Our regular SU insider Neil Adler from Inside the Loud House will likely join us this week. We'll talk some Syracuse basketball. They got a big win over Tennessee, a ranked team this week, after taking it on the chin from some bigwigs in the tournament out in Las Vegas. But the Syracuse team looks good. Carmelo Anthony's son looks very, very promising.
Yep,
so it should be an exciting season for Syracuse basketball. There should be some things to talk about by the time we get around to March Madness, hopefully. I know a lot of Central New Yorkers are long starving to get back in the big dance and be a factor again in March Madness. So we'll see if all that happens. All right, so that'll do it. We'll put a nice, neat bow on this wonderful, wonderful show. Thanks for all of you who hung in there. Thanks especially to those of you that jumped into the comments. All right, and tell your friends about us. We need some more subscribers as we try to drive up our channel even more. But thanks for anybody who's been a contributor up to this point. As they say, when you're in on the ground floor on something, it makes it just that much cooler as it grows. So thank you for all of you who give us the time in your very, very busy lives to be part of your lives. All right, that'll do it for Boy Green. It's the Manchild saying so long, folks. We'll see you again soon. Take care.